Hello, everyone, and welcome to Uncivil Law, where we learn through the misfortunes of others. As always, I hope you'll enjoy this legal education content. And today will be the day I earn that subscription. For today's headline, we are talking about Amber Heard talking to Dateline. Yes, Amber Heard has given her statements to the press about her time in Virginia. I'm expecting that she didn't enjoy her time in Virginia very, very much. Very disappointing. I lived in Virginia for many, many years. In fact, I lived in Fairfax County, where this trial was held for many, many years. And I thought, generally speaking, it's a nice place to be. But her experience seems to have not been as optimal. How disappointing and sad. We are going to listen to this interview on the Peacock that was made available, and we are going to mock the shit out of it, basically, I'm pretty sure, because, well, it's Amber Heard, and we already have a pretty good idea about the stupid, because we've heard the stupid so many different ways. But this is in no way going to stop us from talking more about the stupid. Now, I must apologize slightly in advance. The audio quality of the original is a little bit off. I have attempted to clean it up a little bit, but it's still a little bit noisy and stuff. But hopefully with all the different things I've done on the audio side, it will be at least workable. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and watch this thing. So let us do that. Great. All right. So here we are. After Amber Heard, after the verdict, a Dateline special, an investigation into lies. That last part is me. All right, let's go ahead and watch this thing.
You're here. Some people might ask, why?
I'm asking that.
Are you brave? Are you reckless? Are you vindictive? Why did you want to do an interview?
One thing I can tell you is, one thing I'm not is vindictive. There's no part of me that sees any, this would be a really lousy way to get vengeance.
What do you hope to get across here? You've had everything said about you. What do you wish people knew?
Savannah, as silly as it is to say this out loud, my goal, the only thing I could hope for at this point, I just want people to see me as a human being.
Tonight, we talk with Amber Heard, the woman at the center of one of the most sensational media spectacles in recent memory.
That's one way of putting it. It's definitely been a media spectacle for sure, man. It's been a media spectacle, but it's all because of her. It's all because of her and her stupid. She started this in so many different ways. In fact, in every way, pretty much, she started this. She started this when she brought up her bullshit claims for her TRO in California, which on some level might be the thing that offends me the most, because I like law and I like the judicial process, and I get more than a little bit annoyed when I find out someone has exploited the process, particularly in the context of a domestic violence temporary restraining order. Temporary restraining orders, as a matter of generalized course, are basically borderline impossible to get. For a variety of policy reasons, in domestic violence cases, they become basically automatic, which might be a good thing, because if someone's being abused, we probably want to be able to separate them, everyone into their corner, as it were, while we're adjudicating it. But TROs aren't free, as it were, to the party that they're being given against. At a bare minimum, it causes them to not be near them, which, depending on the situation, might cause them to not be in the home that they own, or using the car that they use, or anything. It can be quite devastating to the person on the other end of the TRO. You get not to be able to be in your own home or around your own kids, or going or using your own car, or going to the places you used to frequent because they might be there, and so forth and so on. So, it's a bit of a burden to the person getting the TRO. Now, whether or not on balance we're in the right position in terms of these things, I suppose is a reasonable question, particularly in light of Amber Heard. And Amber Heard is one of the reasons that you can be skeptical of these sort of in gross. Because if Amber Heard is lying, she's probably not the only one. And as I say, they come with some serious consequences. So I get very, very, very annoyed at someone exploiting the legal process, because you're coming into my house and shitting on my bed. I do not like this at all. You're a bad person, Amber Heard.
words on Johnny Depp.
For 6 weeks, millions of viewers around the world were glued to their screens, hanging on every moment of this courtroom slugfest between Hollywood stars.
The next move was just a bang, and she clocked me in the jaw.
It just hit me over and over and over again. And
Did he? Did he hit you over and over and over again? Did he? Did he? Because we saw the photos, and I have to tell you, I don't know. I know this Amica cream's pretty amazing. I don't own any. Maybe I should. Maybe it'd make me 20 years younger or something, because apparently Amica cream can do everything, because holy shit, over and over and over again, man, it really does hide all sins. Holy God.
I thought, this is how I die.
The trial made public a volatile marriage, with private moments caught on tape.
I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
I was hitting you. I wasn't punching you. I have some thoughts at this point vis-a-vis Amber Heard. The thoughts are not necessarily of the most civil nature. I feel like she's earning everyone a bit of my wrath at this point. I tried to come into this in a fair way, Amber. The chat can testify. I tried to come into this a fair way. Man, I was trying to look perhaps too hard to give you the benefit of the doubt. And you are just an evil person. And now I just basically want you to be destroyed because you have earned every bit of it, right? One of the short definitions of justice is giving people what they deserve. And giving her what she deserves is something I desire very much in my heart at this point. You're a bad person, Amber.
Some people, they just were frankly disgusted by the whole thing and don't have much sympathy for either one of you. Can you understand that?
I understand it.
Absolutely. I can understand that. I would not blame the average person for looking at this and how it's been covered and not think that it is Hollywood brats at their worst.
Hollywood brat is kind of too nice. See, this is the problem with someone like Amber Heard. I am a very well-read person. I like reading court cases in particular. That is my reading of choice. Do I read books? Yes, most of them are law. I write the law books. It's my favorite subject matter. I read a lot of them. I've got 1,500 videos on my channel. I like reading the cases. I like learning about the cases. It's my favorite thing to read. Maybe not your favorite thing to read. Maybe not your favorite thing to read. But yeah, your favorite author might be John Grisham. My favorite author might be Neil Gorsuch. But still, right? I like the reading. And one of the things that lawyers in particular try to pride themselves on is the use of language. Because language is kind of what we do. The words are kind of, important. So when I run out of words, it makes me sad. So Hollywood brat, not really sufficient. And then my brain goes searching for new and exciting adjectives and descriptors and comes up empty because I don't have any words. I need to invent new words just for you. You're hurting it. I don't know. It's at least something to be desired. Yeah.
But what people don't understand is it's actually so much bigger than that. This is not only about our First Amendment right to speak.
But here's the thing about the First Amendment. The First Amendment protects free speech. It doesn't protect lies that amount to defamation.
Preach it.
And that was the issue in the case.
Yes, exactly. Free speech is not protected.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Then why are you having problems with this? The First Amendment does not protect defamation. It never has. It has never been within the scope of the First Amendment. The freedom of speech does not include the defamation. It never has. Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Then why is it such a hard concept for you?
Protect you if you go into a crowded theater and you scream fire. We get the
Oh, it's the worst case ever. It's the worst misunderstanding of law. Well, I don't know if it's the worst because there's so many bad misunderstandings of law. The shouting fire in a crowded theater thing comes from a case called Schneck. And it is a badly misunderstood case. First of all, it's falsely shouting fire in a crowded theater. Falsely shouting fire in a crowded theater. Not shouting fire, falsely shouting fire. Why is falsely shouting fire in a theater bad? Because it would induce a physical panic. People would probably start running for the exits. This could create a hazard. And the hazard might well be worth it if the fire is real, because the fire is also a pretty big hazard. But if you're just falsely claiming things and it induces some reaction from people, yeah. So there's that. Second of all, the example in Schneck is such a bad example in retrospect, because I believe it was Holmes who wrote it, if memory serves correctly. But what was happening at the time, okay? What was happening at the time is it's World War I. All right? Some guy is passing out pamphlets saying, don't sign up for the draft, avoid the draft, don't go fight the war. Okay? The guy is called Schneck, by the way. That's his name. Schneck, the guy, is making pamphlets that say, resist the draft, don't sign up for the draft, don't agree to the draft, don't go to the war is bad. These are the pamphlets he's passing out. He is prosecuted for the pamphlets. All right? And so the United States Supreme Court in Schneck ultimately rules, and this has since been overruled. So if this sounds wrong, it's because it is now wrong. It has since been overruled. But ruled at the time that this was and should be illegal and improper. And it should be illegal and improper because it is so obviously illegal and improper, in the same way that falsely shouting fire in the crowded theater is wrong. So falsely shouting fire in the crowded theater is wrong, obviously wrong. And therefore, also, the passing out the pamphlets that say, don't sign up for the draft, don't agree to the draft, resist the draft, war is bad. So the entire thing is kind of stupid, because today, passing out the pamphlets that would say things like, don't sign up for the draft, resist the draft is bad, war is bad, would be legal. Schneck has been overruled. Schneck is no longer good law. This pamphlet is legal under current First Amendment jurisprudence. So it's wrong because it isn't shouting fire in a crowded theater. It's falsely shouting. And it's also wrong because it was saying, oh, this is so obviously wrong, in the same way that passing out these pamphlets is so obviously wrong, but they're not obviously wrong. In fact, now it's protected speech. So it's no longer even a good analogy on its own terms, because it's analogizing something that's clearly wrong to something that's now fully legal behavior. So please stop quoting Schneck. Please stop saying the fire in the crowded theater thing. It's bad law. This point of legal education has been brought to you by Uncivil Law. Let's listen to some more.
concept of free speech from the Greeks, but my understanding of what that means is not just the freedom to speak. It's a freedom to speak truth to power.
But truth is the word.
Truth is the word. Truth is the word.
Yes,
That was the issue.
and that's all I spoke.
No, it isn't.
So how did it all come to this?
See you down the road.
Amber Laura Heard grew up outside Austin, Texas.
I live in Austin, Texas. Maybe I should go visit her childhood home and be like, this is the home where the lies started.
With big dreams of Hollywood stardom. After moving to Los Angeles at the age of 17, she booked a string of TV and movie roles. In 2009, she got a call that would change her life. It was from superstar Johnny Depp.
Here. The
wanted her to co-star with him in a film called The Rum Diary. He was 46. She was half his age, 23.
Holla. I mean, they're both full adults, so, you know, fine. I mean, I'm 41. I wouldn't necessarily object to someone younger than me, although if it's Amber Heard, probably not so much. Amber Heard could probably destroy me 8 different ways because I'm a man of logic and reason, and she is decidedly not, and probably would literally break my brain. So probably best to be avoided, I would think. Amber Heard may not be the right girl for me, I think. Pressing on.
He's such a pleasure to work with. He's even better than I could have imagined him to be, which is saying something.
After several years of dating, the couple got engaged.
Is that an engagement ring? Does that mean you're engaged?
What would you consider it?
I think you look engaged. Congratulations.
Thank you. She's a wonderful girl and very good for me.
And apparently this is the engagement ring that he bought for her. And she didn't want it. Which looks like a nice ring to me, but... So now he's wearing it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think if you propose to a woman and she's like, this ring isn't fancy or expensive enough, that might be some kind of a clue. Perhaps that relationship is not off on the greatest foundations. Just a shower thought. Okay.
But the marriage didn't last long. In May 2016, Amber went to court asking a judge for a restraining order against her husband, alleging domestic abuse.
She abused the system. She abused the legal system. For me, this is one of the greater sins possible. Right? My church is the courthouse, as it were. And you have committed a sacrilege, basically. You've committed a sacrilege by lying and abusing the process for purely personal gain. As we later learn, it's because he wouldn't give you the 3 penthouses and the cars and pay for the shit. You did it as a business transaction. You deserve to go to hell. You have sinned.
Months later, Amber dropped the restraining order and they divorced. And it seemed like the Depp-Heard saga might end there.
What?
In 2018, she landed her biggest role yet in Aquaman. That same year, as the Me Too movement was in full swing, she wrote this now infamous op-ed for the Washington Post. It included a key line: I became a public figure representing domestic abuse.
Not to put too fine a point on it, but it contained 3 key lines, including the headline, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. So, yeah.
You've said many times you just wanted to go on with your life. When you wrote the op-ed, it raised all of this again. Why did you do that if you wanted to just go on and put this past you?
Good question, Samantha.
Because the op-ed wasn't about my relationship with Johnny.
It was a little bit about your relationship with Johnny. 2 years ago, I became the face of domestic abuse, and I have seen firsthand how Hollywood protects men accused of domestic abuse. It might have been a little bit about Johnny Depp. Also, if we were also confused, and fair enough to be confused, because whether it's about Johnny Depp, to be fair, I can't believe I'm doing this. Why am I doing anything to give Amber Heard any credit at all? Damn it. My sense of fairness compels me. Shit. I have to say something nice about Amber Heard now. Damn it. In the interest of being fair to Amber Heard, oh Lord, the idea that's about Johnny Depp may not necessarily be immediately obvious, But if we had any doubts, we got the ACLU to confirm it and that it was about him, and that, yeah, basically they tried very, very hard to make it about Johnny Depp in every possible way and went through several different revisions on how close can we get to it being about Johnny Depp without it being about Johnny Depp. And yeah, the jury kind of saw through all that in the end. So, I mean, yeah, okay, whether it's about Johnny Depp, yeah. But, you know, once you got the ACLU on the stand to say, yeah, we wrote it about Johnny Depp, it might be a little bit about Johnny Depp, you liar.
But it alluded to him. It was unmistakable.
You know, what the op-ed was about was, you know, me loaning my voice to a bigger cultural conversation that we were having at the time.
Sorry, her name is Savannah, not Samantha. I apologize. Savannah Guthrie. I apologize, Savannah. That was my bad. That was my bad. I apologize.
It was about reforms, legislative reforms, renewing the Violence Against Women Act.
Did you worry? Gosh, I'd love to be a person weighing in on these cultural issues, but that's going to stir this all up again.
You know, that's a great question, and one that I wish was considered more seriously, because it's important.
When you wrote this op-ed...
Why didn't you consider it? Well, you're not very smart. I mean, there's that. I don't think she's some sort of master tactician, by the way. I don't think that she, like, had some sort of 720-degree no-scope underwater hungry hippo plan where all this was part of some massive plan that was coordinated in advance, because I just don't believe she's smart enough for that. I believe it's more fundamentally a derivative of her personality rather than it being planned. And she just plays the victim all the time. So, yeah. Yeah. All that stuff. Lord. I'd like to thank all of you who are currently watching, the 3,643 of you currently watching. And I've seen that very many of you are subscribing. And I really want to thank you for subscribing to the channel. It is strongly appreciated. Thank you very, very much, everyone hitting that subscribe button. Let's listen to some more lies and excitement.
It was the height of Me Too. Legions of powerful men being canceled, losing their jobs. Did you want that to happen to Johnny Depp?
Of course not.
Why not? Why didn't you want it to happen to Johnny Depp? Why not? Why didn't you want his work to be canceled? I feel like I'm a guy who is very rational and very reasonable and very logical. And I also feel like I'm a guy that once the scales have tipped, once Lady Justice over here renders her verdict and the scales have tipped, I can be quite vindictive. I have said more than one occasion that at this point, if it were me, I want to get writs of attachment. I want to have the sheriffs show up at her homes. I want to go into her homes, and I want to take everything not nailed down. Then, after I do that, I want to get liens against her real property for the things that are nailed down. I want to literally strip her of everything she owns. And that's my stuff now, just because I can. Just because I can. But Johnny Depp is not that vindictive, and maybe good for him. Maybe that's a better way of approaching things. You can decide which of us is more morally pure. The I am willing to forgive and I don't want to bankrupt her, or my plan of I want to go into her house and I want to take her stuff plan. I want to take her monogram towels. Why? Just because I can. I want to take the sheets so she can't shit on them anymore. Just because I can. So I can be quite vindictive, I think, when I get really, really burned. So here's my question to you. Are you just that good? Are you just that pure of heart, Amber Heard? This is a man who, according to you, punched you and beat you and wailed on you and threw you on a table and got on top of you and wailed on you and choked you and threw a phone at you and sexually assaulted you with a liquor bottle. But no, you don't have any hard feelings. You don't want to see him canceled. You don't want him to lose his job. Does this strike anyone else as odd? Are you just that forgiving? Have you met the Buddha? Well, strictly speaking, under Buddhism, everyone can be the Buddha. Are you the Buddha? Have you reached the point of enlightenment? Are you the Buddha? Is that what's going on? You have put away the thoughts of materialism and, you know, the way of the things of this world, and you've just reached a place of inner peace so that you don't want to see him canceled. That's what's going on. You're the Buddha now? Okie dokie.
It wasn't about him.
Johnny Depp disagreed and filed a $50 million defamation lawsuit against her.
Good morning.
She countersued, all of which led to the recent showdown in court. I don't have to remind you that you've been found liable for defamation against Johnny Depp. Having been found liable, are you nervous as we are here today about what you can say now?
I bet you are a little bit nervous, Savannah. Savannah is a graduate of Georgetown Law. And so I bet Savannah is just a little bit nervous. A little bit nervous about having the proven defamer on. You're taking a lot of risk there, NBC. Yeah, having the proven defamer on as you cooperate with her to publish her new and exciting words. I bet you are a little nervous. I bet NBC's a little bit nervous. A little bit. Who in legal approved this? Who in legal approved this? Because I have to tell you, if I'm NBC's legal, I'm like, I don't know about this one, guys. I'm not sure you necessarily want to go that way. I mean, I'm only here to give advice as your advisor, but I'm not sure that's necessarily the best plan.
Of course. I took for granted what I assumed was my right to speak, not just about what I lived through, but what I knew.
Do you feel like you could be sued again by him for defamation?
Yep. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily expect Amber Heard to necessarily know about the finer points of republication, except for she literally just sat through a trial for 7 weeks and had the concepts of republication explained to her in very small, easy to understand words, not to mention all of her commentary she had with her lawyer shortly in advance of the trial. So she has got to be a damn expert on defamation law at this point and republication. How could she not be? She just went through she at this point could probably teach a law school class, God forbid. She could probably teach a law school class on defamation and republication because she's a goddamn expert now, having been explained to her through the trial and also all the prep up to the trial and stuff like that. And yeah, and now you're saying it again. You're repeating it again. So, yep. You can be sued again. You should probably know this. I mean, it's been explained to you a little bit at this point. Okie dokie.
I'm terrified, which is what I guess the defamation lawsuit is meant to do. It's meant to take your voice.
Wow. Let's see if I can do that. Okay. I suppose that's what a defamation lawsuit is supposed to do. It's supposed to take your voice. It needs work. It needs work. I can do it, though. It needs work. But I can make it work. At this point, I'm definitely hoping the lawsuit will take your voice, although sadly it seems to have not done that. I can't help noticing the continuing to speak. Disappointingly. It's times like this where small parts of my brain make me question whether the First Amendment for everybody was really a good idea. Maybe the founders. I mean, they were just men after all at the end of the day. They weren't God. So maybe they missed a trick. Yeah. Just small, tiny part of me. I know better than that. for every possible philosophical reason, but some part of me is like, it's maybe, but yeah, it hasn't worked so far, and I very, very much hope that somehow we get an injunction out of this to shut her back, to shut your yap, right? Because we can do that now, because it wouldn't be prior restraint anymore. Now it's post restraint, right? We're not trying, because we've just adjudicated all that stuff in advance, so we can file injunctions and get you to shut the hell up. I want the shut the hell up injunction. I still have a Virginia bar number. I wonder if I can file some sort of third-party motion intervene for a writ of getting her to shut the hell up in the trial court. Probably not, if wishing made it so. However, me filing an amici brief in the Court of Appeals does sound potentially hilarious. So we may do a Twitch, we may do a YouTube rights, an amici brief to tell Amber Heard that she's stupid, and we'll submit it under my bar number. Hilarious. Continuing on. 8 blocks lined with people. I lived here for like 15 years. I know where the Fairfax courthouse is. There is nay a city block to be seen. Okay.
Holding signs saying things that I couldn't repeat on television. And they had to establish barricades to protect me so I could drive into a protected entrance of the courthouse. Every single day, that's how I walked in the court.
There were more people waiting for her inside, packing the courtroom and watching from home. Amber's lawyers had fought to keep TV cameras out, but lost.
I didn't want this to be a thing. I didn't want it to be a trial.
I'm sorry, what?
I didn't want this to be a thing. I didn't want it to be a trial. I didn't want it to be a part of the public record. But when someone sues you, you don't really have a choice.
I bet you didn't want this to be a trial. I bet you didn't want this to be part of the public record. I bet you didn't want you to have to defend your position. You didn't want it exposed to the light. There is an idea that sunlight is the best disinfectant. While I think the sentiment is mildly, and I very mildly a bit over exaggerated, I think it can be a very good disinfectant, and I think this is a good example of where it is. We have exposed you to the light. I bet you didn't want to be exposed to the light. This is just further proof, I think, that she might in fact be a vampire. I'm starting the proposition Amber Heard is in fact a literal vampire. She couldn't see the bruises in the mirror because she couldn't see herself. She is blood-sucking, and she doesn't like the daylight. She might actually be a vampire. Now, I am no expert on vampire lore. So maybe there is some aspect of vampirism I'm not counting into this equation. Because I'm familiar with the idea of the coffins and the wooden stakes and the silver bullets and the rosaries and the holy water. I don't remember what part of the vampire canon the shitting the bed is. Is that Bram Stoker? Is that Nosferatu? I don't remember that part. Maybe they don't write that part down in the books. I don't know.
With the burden of proof on him, Johnny Depp made his case first. To prove defamation, his lawyers needed to show that Amber's claims of abuse were false and had hurt his career.
Mr. Depp, have you ever physically assaulted Miss Heard?
Never.
Have you ever sexually assaulted Miss Heard?
Never. Certainly not.
What have you lost as a result of Miss Heard making these allegations against you?
Nothing less than everything.
Depp said there was an abuser in the courtroom, but it wasn't him. It was Amber.
There's a need for conflict.
I don't know whether or not they're going to get to this in the special or not, but I believe I've seen interviews or at least heard quotes relating to this idea. And I think Amber Heard might have been asked about this, although I'm not 100% sure at this time because it all runs together, about this being the first time there's ever been a televised trial in which a domestic abuse survivors had to testify in a publicly televised trial. But, and I believe that's true. It just wasn't Amber Heard.
Conflict. There's a need for violence. It erupts out of nowhere.
Depp described a particularly violent fight they had when he was filming in Australia. He said Amber threw a vodka bottle at him.
And it made contact and shattered everywhere. And then I looked down and realized that the tip of my finger had been severed.
Depp's attorney showed the jury photos of injuries they said Amber had inflicted on Depp and asked members of his security staff to tell the jury what they'd seen.
I heard and saw a closed fist contact Mr. Depp in the left side of his face.
He has witnesses who can testify about him being hit or punched or whatever one it is. I hit you. I didn't punch you. Is there something... There seems to be something maybe slightly odd about the fact that she differentiates the concepts of hitting and punching, but doesn't differentiate the concepts of donating and pledging. Hitting and punching are two different things. I hit you. I didn't punch you. Hitting is not punching. But donating is pledging. Where she draws the lines between these concepts is somewhat of a mysterious enigma.
And whose fist was that?
That was Miss Heard's fist. Amber Heard's fist.
The Depp team argued that you were the abuser, that you instigated physical violence. Did you?
I never had to instigate it. I responded.
That doesn't answer the question. That's a deflection. Did you ever instigate violence? I never had to instigate it is not an answer to the question. Also, it's literally true, almost certainly, because who has to initiate domestic abuse? Again, on my channel, we do try to avoid the absolutes because we know better. We know that absolutes are almost inevitably wrong. So it might be this situation somehow, some way, in some situation that someone might have to initiate. Maybe if we put our thinking hats on, we'll think about it really, really hard. But I'm telling you what, man, I'm hard-pressed to think of one off the top of my head. So yeah, I never had to initiate and I didn't initiate are two very different propositions, Amber. I'm on to you. I might be a little bit slow on the uptake when it comes to the determining people about people's character aspects. I'm good on law, not maybe good on so reading you, but I'm on to you a little bit with your evasion.
To it. When you're living in violence and it becomes normal, as I testified to, you have to adapt. You adopt strategies to cope with it. If it meant, as I testified to, if it meant the difference between a broken nose or a sore cheek, I would do it.
What about the witnesses who said they have seen you instigate physical violence? Did they all come in and lie in court?
I'm, less interested in sitting here, relitigating it with you. I am not here to call any of his witnesses any names. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to just kind of talk about it from what it felt like for me as a person who sat there.
Someone's lying. For what it's worth, although I am not an expert on the finer points of the case law, but it's generally speaking correct that merely calling someone a liar in a sort of a global way is not defamation. It's not considered sufficiently actionable for it to be defamation. So you can usually say like so and so is a liar. If you say they're lying about specific things, obviously that's more a problem. Because like, what does it mean for someone to be a liar? It's too vague. It's like calling someone a racist, incidentally. For anyone who cares, we might as well give a point of education, right? Generally speaking, as general principles, and I'm trying to make this clear, right, before people go running off, like generally speaking, it doesn't necessarily mean specifics, but right, generally speaking, you can make global statements like so-and-so is a liar, so-and-so is a racist, so-and-so is a white supremacist, so-and-so is a whatever. Generally speaking, these statements are considered too ambiguous, too broad, too global, too undifferentiated to be actionable. So you could call them liars, incidentally, although now you'd be calling them liars about specific things implicitly. So that's a little bit harder, maybe. But incidentally, I mean, either they're lying or you're lying. Well, I guess strictly speaking, that's not true either. Because, I mean, on a hyper-technical level, again, let's give Amber a point of credit, and I just, hate myself a little bit that I have to do it, but that's fine. We'll give her a point of credit, fine. Hyper-technically speaking, no one has to be lying. To be lying means that you are knowing what you're saying is false. So someone is telling a falsehood. Whether or not anyone is lying is less clear, because to be a liar, you have to know that what you're saying is false. So strictly speaking, I guess it's possible that no one is a liar. Okay, let's see. That being said, however, while impossible in generally speaking for no one to be a liar, in the specific instance that we're currently faced with, Amber Heard is most decidedly a liar. She's a liar who lies. She is an absolute liar. She is a liar and evil and possibly a vampire. I feel like my life force is being sucked out just by looking at her.
There was one more voice Depp's legal team wanted the jury to hear, Amber's. They had audio recordings of the couple talking about how Amber sometimes got physical.
I want to slap my ear together. So it resounds in my brain. You like that? Huh?
I'm sorry. In another recording, Amber was less apologetic.
I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not deck you. I was hitting you.
There are tapes in which you acknowledge hitting. There are tapes in which you say, I started the fight.
I know much has been made of these audio tapes. And as I testified on the stand, what you would hear in those clips are not evidence of what was happening. It was evidence of a negotiation of how to talk about that with.
Yeah, but we don't believe you. We don't believe you. See, in the abstract, what she's saying could be true. Because what those tapes are is a question of fact. Right? She's saying things. They could be admissions. They could be deflections. They could be, merely attempts to avoid conflict. They could be capitulation. They could be... that could be a lot of different things, right? What the words are may not necessarily reflect reality on any number of levels, as we're learning by listening to her words, which don't reflect reality. So the words on the tape might not necessarily reflect reality. They might not necessarily be... They could be patronizing. They could be a lot of things. And you testified as to what you think they are. Here's the thing, Amber. I had the questionable fortune of listening to your testimony, and in fact, pretty much the entirety of the trial. Even when I wasn't on camera, I had the trial in my ear. So I was listening to the whole thing. Except for the one moment when you started cackling into the camera. So the only part I didn't listen to the entire trial was maybe the 5 or 10 minutes or whatever it was immediately after the tape of you cackling and, doing the demented voice thing, which was so unsettling to me. I had to take a $5 for my own mental health because I was so shook by listening to this demonic woman. So that's pretty much the only part of the trial that I missed because I had to bail out for my own sanity at that point. You were able to pierce my logic, rational brain, and you were now piercing into my emotional brain, and I was not a very happy camper. All that being said is I listened to everything, and the jury and us collectively have looked at the evidence, and we think, no, not so much. We think that there are omissions. We think that you are, in fact, a lying, manipulative demon of a entity. Whether or not we even want to call you a woman is questionable. What is a woman? Maybe not you. To be a woman, you probably have to be a person first. Maybe not you. And, yeah. So, the collective judgment of the internet at large, and the judgment of the jury more specifically, seems to be that those tapes do reflect an actual reality of you actually admitting to actually hitting him and actually instigating fights. So, congratulations. The jury thought you were being truthful in that instance. On the tape. Okay.
With your abuser.
But I am looking at a transcript that he says, you start physical fights, and you say, I did start a physical fight.
I did start a physical fight.
You did.
But you're telling me today, I never started a physical fight, and here you are on tape saying you did.
As I testified on the stand about this, is that when your life is at risk, not only will you take the blame for things that you shouldn't take the blame for, but when you're in an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, you don't have the luxury of saying, hey, this is...
Okay, here's my question. Do you think that Savannah Guthrie's look on her face is communicating an expression of, I can't believe I'm listening to this bullshit? Do you think it's expressing maybe some consternation, disgust, disbelief? This is where we need the body language expert people. Is Savannah Guthrie giving us a tell?
That you shouldn't take the blame for, but when you're in an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, you don't have the luxury of saying, hey, this is...
I'm not a body language expert, guys, but I think that Savannah Guthrie might be giving us a bit of a tell. Could be potentially a small, tiny tell. Good times.
Black and white, because it's anything but when you're living in it.
He says he never hit you. Never. Is that a lie?
Yes, it is.
He says he's never struck any woman. His lawyers argued at trial. None of his other prior relationships, not one woman has come forward and said he physically hit them. You were the only one.
Look what happened to me when I came forward.
Wow. Wow. So she wants to be the ambassador for Me Too. She wants to be the face of domestic abuse victims. Okie dokie. Okie dokie, Amber. If you wanna be the face for domestic abuse victims and represent them all. Okay, Amber. I think we're beginning to understand why domestic abuse victims have, to some degree, suggested that perhaps Amber Heard doesn't speak for them. Yeah.
Would you?
Me on this side of the pond and Black Belt Barrister on the other side of the pond are questioning the, for lack of a better word, integrity. Integrity is not the right word, because I don't really buy into like the conspiracy theory stuff with the relationships between various people. It's a little bit too tangential for my taste. If there was corruption, it was one more of philosophy, I think, than of relationships, or of process rather than relationships. But I digress. We are all questioning maybe the sanctity, wisdom, rationality of the UK verdict, possibly also system at this point. Okay.
Sun, a British tabloid, over an article it published describing him as a wife beater. The case went to trial 2 years ago in the UK. There were no cameras in court. The judge in that case found that most of Amber Heard's allegations of abuse were substantially true.
Johnny Depp has lost his legal battle with a British tabloid.
We prevailed, overwhelmingly.
The jury in the US trial wasn't allowed to hear about that judgment. And
No. Not for the least of reasons that they concern different things and different issues under different systems of law, different countries even. Yeah, the Virginia jury was not really allowed to hear about it, although you guys certainly tried to mention it every possible way. So I'm pretty sure the jury picked up on it one way or another. So, not for nothing, trying to sneak that in through that back door. All right. How much more of this do I have to listen to? Oh, Lord, 9 more minutes of this? Okay, fine.
And Amber says that by the time she got up to tell her side of the story, the court of public opinion here had already turned against her.
After 3.5 weeks, I took the stand and saw the courtroom packed, full of Captain Jack Sparrow fans who were vocal, energized, who'd come from...
Where were your fans, Amber Heard? Where were your fans? It was a public trial open to the public. First come, first serve. Why was it filled with Jack Sparrow fans? Where were your fans, Amber?
all ends of the world.
We've been here all night long. I took 2 buses, 2 trains, and I had to walk a half an hour.
And the jury saw all of that.
During 5 days on the stand, Amber told her version of the toxic relationship. She said the physical abuse began when they were first dating and continued throughout their marriage.
Was it 2012 or 2013? I get so confused.
When I was walking out of the bedroom, slapped me across the face. I turned to look at him. And I said, Johnny, you hit me. You just hit me. I testified on the stand. I got hit.
I got slapped across the face. My dog stepped on a fish.
For a very long time before I knew how to even try to defend myself.
In all, she described at least 12 times when Depp hit her.
and he's punching me, with a closed fist, punching me.
She said it often happened when he was drunk or on drugs. Right now, as you sit here today, do you stand by your testimony and your accusations against Johnny Depp about abuse?
Of course, and I will to my dying day. I know what.
We got to get an injunction against this woman. There's got to be a way, man. I'm not an expert on these things in Virginia. I can tell you that injunctions similar to this have been granted in other jurisdictions. Most notably, perhaps, of recent fame, Cardi B and Tasha K, where we covered that injunction on my channel, which was hilarious because it involves some very interesting words. Because you have to specify the injunction with particularity because you got to tell them what they can't say. So very recently, Cardi B was able to get an injunction against Tasha K for saying stuff in the future because they've been adjudicated as lies and not so much. So it's definitely possible. It definitely occurs. I'm not so sure what the law in Virginia is on specifically this point, but one can hope. We need to get a court order to get her to shut the hell up, which comes with contempt of court sanctions, which could theoretically include prison time. Maybe that will work. Yep.
What happened to me? I'm here as a survivor. I, to my dying day, will stand by every word of my testimony.
To support her allegations, her attorney showed photos of injuries they said were caused by Depp.
Correct. Clearly I was having a bad time. Yes. I did assault a couple of cabins, but I did not touch Miss Heard.
You poured your...
Great answer. Great answer. I did like that. You met your Vaughn. I did admit I did assault a couple of cabinets, but didn't touch Miss Heard. It's a very good answer.
Yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint.
We all need mega pints. There are not enough mega pints in this world. To deal with this. Yeah, there's not enough mega pints to deal with this. Oh, good times. Okay.
Yeah.
I poured myself a large glass of wine.
Right.
And remember what Depp said about that fight in Australia when his finger was severed? Amber denied hurting him and said on that trip, she was the real victim. Amber went on to describe a harrowing incident of sexual abuse. She testified.
The fake crying attempt is so much more nauseating on the second watch through. And I said this on Nate's channel, I'll say it again. It's like you now, at least now I have a much better perspective on why the people in Legal Bites chat, for example, were so frustrated with me and Richard Hogue to some degree, because we hadn't known any of this, somewhat by choice, because Richard Hogue and I, and certainly me, like to go into a lot of these things not knowing anything, because we like to learn we like to have all the legal knowledge, so we have all the legal background, but we like to learn what the jury learns and try to assess things based on what the jury's hearing. And so when I'm viewing this stuff for the first time, for better or worse, especially on day one of her testimony, I had a little bit of trouble reading her. Now, as she went on, not so much, right? On day two, I'm like, as it went on and cross-examination, right? So it wasn't like I was completely oblivious to all of it, because it just, tried to assess things, perhaps too committed to neutrality in some ways. I don't know. But now I know what I know, which puts me kind of in the same position as the Justice for Johnny camp to some degree. It's like, now I know what they knew at the time, I suppose, is a better way of putting it. I know what they knew at the time. And so they were viewing it for the first time as though it were their second time viewing it, because they knew all the things they knew. It really was my first time. In some sense, it was their second time, because they knew all the things they knew. And so they were obviously looking at it with a much different set of lenses than me. I was probably closer to the jury in a lot of senses, although maybe not, because my personality is different. So we can assess the degree to which I was close to the jury or not, but at least I was coming into it blind, which is where the jury is supposed to be. So there's that in that respect. But now, viewing it for the second time, viewing it now knowing everything I know, it comes off as so much more obviously fake. And so, like, yeah, it comes off as so much more obviously inauthentic. Comes off as so much more obviously forged, or attempted to be, because she's doing a piss poor job at it. This may be the performance of a lifetime. That's just not very a high standard for her. And now you're looking at it, or at least I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, now I understand why the Justice for Johnny crowd was so frustrated at points with me, because they knew things I didn't know. And now looking back, I'm like, oh yeah, no, this all sucks. Yeah.
That Depp assaulted her with a bottle.
But I could just feel this pressure.
In that courtroom, I am testifying about sexual assault and domestic violence next to a jury in front of a whole packed courtroom of people who are expressing their vocal support and disdain for me.
Your lies have been...
I'm beginning to understand the disdain for you. I didn't come into this with disdain. At this point, I might have a little bit of disdain. Just mild, barely worth mentioning amounts of disdain.
Exposed to the world multiple times, right?
I haven't lied about anything I've been here to say.
When it came time to cross-examine Amber about that alleged sexual assault,
you know, I think at this point, we have to wonder what NBC is thinking to some degree. I guess they're thinking that this is going to be really good for them and their business, because they'll get a lot of views and stuff like this. But also, like, where is their integrity? I guess none is to be found. Maybe this is just to be expected and part of the mainstream media. It's like, we don't really care because we're going to get the clicks and stuff. We don't really care about any authenticity or integrity. We're just willing to put it up. Or maybe they do care about integrity and they're just willing to expose a liar. Maybe this is all part of some master plan. I don't know. But they're putting this, well, at this point, proven liar on this on their television. They're giving them this huge national platform knowingly. To what end? Why? Why are they doing this? What is the point of this? I guess Savannah Guthrie is to a large degree, however, exposing her and challenging her. So there's that. So I suppose there's some praise and condemnation. I guess I'm frustrated that she's allowed to talk anymore. She's allowed to talk. Maybe one of those medieval punishments where we like cut out her tongue or something at this point would be good. I don't know, because it's just, at least even more people will be exposed to the lies. Maybe there's that. Maybe that's the good thing in the end, because so many people will view this Dateline special, even people who didn't watch the trial. So maybe more people will get exposed to the lies and corruption. Maybe this is all worth it in the end. But it's, why have her on and not just like basic? And they're trying to be even handed to about the whole thing. It's like, you know, it's just like, I don't know. There's some criticism here of NBC. There's criticism here of their music choices and the way the music cues are trying to manipulate you emotionally. There's some criticisms here of how they're framing this literally in terms of how it's being photographed, the literal framing of it with the close-ups and stuff, and trying to make her, and the lighting, trying to make her soft and feel approachable. It's just a whole thing. It's a whole lot of very frustrating BS. And I don't know, man. There's just, I don't know quite where they're going. At least Savannah Guthrie is doing a pretty decent job of trying to hold her to account and expose her for the lying liar who did that. You know, I just did a DNA test and it turns out she's 100% that bitch. All right.
Depp's team pointed out the allegation only came up after her divorce. In court, attorney Camille Vasquez pulled no punches.
You testified you bled from your vagina as a result of that sexual assault.
Yes.
There aren't any medical records reflecting that you sought medical treatment for any of these injuries, are there?
I did not seek medical treatment after Australia, no.
Not for the rape?
No, I did not want to tell anyone.
In the end, the jury believed Johnny Depp.
Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
And awarded him more than $10 million in damages. Amber won a single defamation claim in her countersuit and was awarded $2 million. There's no polite way to say it. The jury looked at the evidence you presented. They listened to your testimony and they did not believe you. They thought you were lying.
Yes, thank you, Savannah.
How could, I'll put it this way, how could they make a judgment? How could they not?
How could they make a judgment? Well, see, the thing is, the jury is the trier of fact. The jury's the trier of fact. They're the one that determines the facts. How could they make a judgment? The jury's the trier of facts.
Come to that conclusion. They had sat in those seats and heard over 3 weeks of nonstop, relentless testimony from paid employees, and towards the end of the trial,
Bullshit. I'm sorry, but no. Unacceptable. First of all, paid employees. No. Many of them weren't paid. Many of them aren't paid. Many of them aren't paid by them. And also the cops are definitely not paid. Unless you think they're on Johnny Depp's payroll too. How deep does the corruption go in your world, just incidentally? And other people, and also Kate Moss, and other witnesses that are just not paid. So first of all, not all the people are paid by him. Even Ben King technically isn't paid by him. Some people aren't paid by him in any capacity, I suppose, unless in so much as he's a taxpayer, I suppose. So the police are on his payroll as taxpayer. Whoop-de-fucking-do, I guess, maybe. But no, there's so many of them. They're all lying. Their payrolls, really, with the island manager and the friends and the witnesses and no. Second of all, literally every single person that testified for you in person, other than your sister, was paid by you. They're all paid experts. You didn't have one friend. You didn't have one witness in person. Not one person was willing to come to Virginia for you. So he had paid witnesses. You had paid witnesses. They were all paid by you. And also, the witnesses you chose sucked. Dr. Heard, Dr. Spiegel. What is this confession by projection bullshit? Usually the confession by projection isn't quite this obvious. Holy shit. Damn.
randos, as I say.
So you don't blame
randos?
I don't blame them.
They're randos. Do you not understand how this works? They're not randos. You know what they are? I'll give you a clue. It starts with wit. Ends with nisses. Wit. Nisses. Come on. I believe in you. You can get it. You can do it. I believe in you. I believe you can do it.
them. It wasn't, I don't blame them. I actually understand he's a beloved character and people feel they know him. He's a fantastic actor.
Their job is...
He's all right. He's okay. I mean, you know. Great Johnny Depp moments. Pirates of the Caribbean 1, great. Personal favorite, Ninth Gate, great. Not so great Johnny Depp moments. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Oh my
God. To not be dazzled by that.
Again, how could they, after listening to 3.5 weeks of testimony about how I was a non-credible person, not to believe a word that came out of my mouth.
But Amber and her lawyers say there's evidence the jury didn't.
Blow. He was good in Blow. I'll give you the points. He was good in Blow. He was good in Blow. In Pirates 1. In Ninth Gate. Not so great in Fear and Loathing. Not so great in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. 21 Jump Street does F all for me personally. He's no Ben Kingsley. Just saying.
Get to see, which could have bolstered her case. Amber's lawyers are sharing it publicly here for the first time.
There's a binder worth of years of notes dating back to 2011 from the very beginning of my relationship that were taken by my doctor, who I was reporting the abuse to.
That doctor was Amber's therapist at the time.
I really do. I really hope they attach all the notes. They kind of have to, actually, technically. I really hope they do, if they want to, because if they do technically have to put them in, maybe they'll try to put them under seal. Because like if they're going to say these should be admitted, if they say they should be admitted, they have to put them on the record. So the Court of Appeals has them. Maybe they'll be under seal though. But I would pay serious money at this point for a copy of these notes in PDF. It will definitely be our unbreaded forever because it's just too good. All right. Thank you, everyone who's here, by the way. The 6,000 of you who are currently here. I really, really appreciate it. And so many of you have subbed while we've been talking. I really do appreciate every one of you who is hitting that subscription button right now. We are a mere 1,800 away from hitting that 100,000 mark. And it is very, very validating. I'm not going to lie. So I very, very much appreciate all of you. Also, when we're done with this, we're definitely going to go to that meme compilation because that sounds like fun. And that will be good times because, shit, dude, fuck, we need the laughter. Although this is pretty funny too, to be honest. What's funnier? That's a good, we'll do a poll. What is funnier, this or the meme compilation? All right, we'll run that poll later once we get into the meme compilation. What's funnier? They're both pretty funny.
Step hit her, threw her on the floor. 8 months after that, he ripped her nightgown, threw her on the bed. And in 2013, the therapist's notes say he threw her against a wall and threatened to kill her.
Her notes represented years of real-time explanations of what was going on.
Entered into evidence.
The judge ruled those notes were hearsay and inadmissible. Depp's spokesperson told us it's unfortunate that the defendant and her team are back to repeating, reimagining, and relitigating matters that have already been decided by the court. Amber plans to appeal and to move on.
I look forward to living my life, and I have a long one, I hope, in front of me. And I will continue to walk through this with my chin up.
Wow. Epic. It's glorious, isn't it? It's just a glorious thing. And we have more of it to come on Nightline. Oh, it's just so good. All right, we need to pick up, we need to find that video that Nate the lawyer was using from earlier so we can respond to all 23 minutes. Hold on. I need to find it. Give me just a second. How y'all doing? Man, this is good shit though. I mean, this woman is such a liar who lies. It's comical. It's one of those, it's like a joke. It's like a joke that starts off funny and then you tell it so much that it stops being funny, but you keep telling it and it becomes funny again. It's like one of those things. It fluctuates between its funniness and unfunniness. Or maybe it's just my mind. Maybe it's cognitive dissonance. That's probably it. It's probably cognitive dissonance, and the laughter is me trying desperately to somehow make the cognitive dissonance work, or me trying to avoid the cognitive dissonance, or parts of my brain going. It could be that. It could be so many different things on so many different levels. It's hard to keep track. Sometimes it's just, this woman is insane, possibly literally. All right. Let's see. Oh, there's so many different things. Amber Heard's lawyers knowing everyone for, which of these videos should we do? There's one from 4 hours ago. Amber Heard roasting Camille Vasquez for 4.5 minutes. That sounds fun. Camille Vasquez being the sweetest woman alive. Camille Vasquez roasting Amber and her team for 23 minutes straight. I think that was the one that was not. We'll watch that one from earlier, and then we'll maybe watch this other one that's 4.5 minutes more of glory, because that all sounds just epically great. I'm here for all of it, as I know so many of you are. All right, let's watch whatever this is. We could use the laughter in our lives.
So, Ms. Heard, I'm only going to...
Your Honor, asking questions while I'm looking at this.
Are you kidding me right now?
All right, if you could give her a moment, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
She needs all the moments. She needs so many different moments.
Text messages on the screen in front of...
The Wii music is a nice touch. The Wii music is a nice touch.
She is a bitch.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, it is, yeah, definitely something we should laugh at. We laugh to make the pain stop.
To, I split it between the ACLU and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, end quote. Right?
That's correct. I made that statement as soon as I got a divorce and we reached the settlement. That's when I pledged it, right then.
Why didn't you give it?
And you say this because you, quote, wanted nothing. And
this video is from Meme Lord. It's, oh, I'm sorry. I cut it off at the bottom. That was very unintentional. Let me, when I was doing this, hold on. I just need to adjust it. Give him credit. I didn't mean to cut off his watermark. There you go. Sorry about that. That was unintentional. This is from an account called Meme Lord, and it is pretty badass. All right, let's watch some more of this.
Quote.
That is correct.
I'm about to end this man's whole career.
But you hadn't donated your entire $7 million settlement to charity at that point, had you?
That's incorrect.
Sitting here today, Ms. Heard, you still haven't donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity. Isn't that right?
Now I'm panicking.
It's what she deserves.
Incorrect. I pledged.
Should we bring in Law and Lumber and Law Talk with Mike? I think we should. We can do this. It's a little bit of effort, but we can bring this in, because I'm not, once again, not capturing this inside StreamYard. I'm capturing this inside OBS, which means that I have to go about doing this the hard way. But that's okay. I can do things, because I'm a smart Uncivil Law. So I have to create a StreamYard window. I have to create a StreamYard window. I have to create a broadcast, create a new broadcast. I don't want to broadcast it. I just want to, okay, so this is just, whatever, meme review, I guess we'll call it internally. It doesn't matter what I call it internally, because it's just for my internal purposes. Create broadcast. Great. All right, so now I've created a broadcast inside StreamYard. Great. Now, Add myself to my own window. Great. Now I need to invite them into the StreamYard link. So let me do that. All right. So hold on. Let's see. I'm getting better at this because I've had to do this a couple times. Let's see. Okay, so I can send it to him doing that. And now I need Law Talk with Mike. Where in the hell is his account? Do I have Law Talk with Mike's account? I might not. Law and Lumber, send the link over to Law Talk with Mike, would you? I'll just send it over also into the damn LawTube group for anyone who happens to be there. That will work. Okay. So now I have to add myself to my own window. Fine. Now I have to add the meme review into this window. I can do that. Share screen, add tab. Share that, share audio. Okay, fine, great. Now I need to capture the entire window. Okay, now I need to capture the entire StreamYard window and put it into OBS, which I can do that. Hold on. So I need to change this, put this here. Okay. Where is it? StreamYard. Where are you hiding? Window capture. Where are you? There you are. StreamYard. Capture. Great. Add. Great. Now I need to readjust the borders so it looks... Oh, wait. I need to do it here. I need to take this off, put this here. Okay. I need to do this window capture. I need to do this, do this. Okay, that works. Now I need to adjust the borders of this so it will look right when I switch the video feeds. Okay, so I need to put this down, make this go this way. Okay. Do this, add, yes, yes, great. Now that looks right. Okay. Now I need to do this, stretch it out here, and now I can do it like I'm inside StreamYards. Poof. Yeah.
The entirety
of the settlement, $7 million to charity, and I intend to fulfill those obligations.
That's not my question.
I am shook.
Please,
what was
try
your
to answer my question. Sitting here today, you have not donated the $7 million donated, not pledged.
Donated.
The $7 million divorce settlement to charity.
I use pledge and donation synonymous.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
With one another.
But I don't. Ms. Heard, I don't use it synonymously.
That's how donations are paid.
Ms. Heard, respectfully, that's not my question. Let's look at the transcript.
If Rob from Law and Lumber and Mike from Law Talk with Mike don't join me after all that, good times. Let's press on.
So you testified on page, I'm getting there.
Damn! Slay!
4506. Your testimony in this trial was, quote, I don't know if I've ever known Johnny not to wear rings.
What? You need to put your microphone on, Miss Stupid. Thank you.
It would help a lot if you put on that microphone. That would be very, very true. Gotta put on the microphone. Man.
Your Honor, improper impeachment. If she's going to ask her question, then she has to show where that was. And then
overrule the objection. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Law Talk is doing his own stream. Disrespect. Well, at least going back the other way isn't as hard as it was creating it in the first place. Disrespect. How you doing, sir?
Hit me with a guilt trip. I'm sitting here typing Discovery. It's like I'm watching you set this thing up going, oh, God, Kurt.
I saw you in the chat. I was like, well, I'm not inside a StreamYard, so all I have to do is these 8 things to make it seem like I'm inside StreamYard.
So we're watching Elaine hit your microphone.
I love you, Rob. You're the greatest.
Your testimony yesterday was, quote, I don't know if I've ever known Johnny not to wear rings. Right, Miss Heard?
That's what I testified to, yes.
Okay. And he was wearing rings on every finger in Australia, correct?
Not all the time, not literally every single ring, every single day, but he often wears rings.
Not often, Miss Heard. Your words are, I've never known Johnny not to wear rings on every finger.
Oh, shit.
That is what I testified to.
Okay. He testified that at the beginning portion of the video where you set up the camera, that wasn't included in the video that TMC received.
I don't know what video TMC received.
I'm talking about Mr. Tremaine's testimony, Miss Heard. Let's just
So you're
focus on
asking me to
Mr.
repeat
Tremaine.
his testimony?
No, I'm asking.
People in chat are now debating whether or not I was actually mad with any of these people. Of course not. I thought I was fairly obvious about it. You know, it's just like a big joke. It's like, you know, but people in the chat are, I don't know, man. I guess it's Poe's Law or something. It's like you can't say anything without someone taking it seriously. I don't know, man.
It's tough. It's tough. Sarcasm is lost on a lot of people, and it's a sad thing.
It's sad. It is very sad.
You, if you recall hearing him say those words to this jury.
Yes, I heard his testimony.
We all did. And he testified that the end of the video where you can be seen smirking. I know you testified earlier that you haven't been smirking in this trial, but you sure were caught on camera smirking in that video.
I disagree with that.
Was also not included in the TMZ video.
Everyone can watch that video and you can determine whether you think it's funny to me or not.
But imagine.
I did watch the video. Didn't you watch the video, Rob?
Oh, I watched the video.
I mean, I did see something that looked smirkish.
I mean, the funny thing is the difference in having her in court versus her with Savannah Guthrie, like the contrast in how she appears. Like in court, she's so aggressive. Like you hold her to the fire on words and she loses her shit.
Absolutely. And she knows the difference between hit and punch, but not the difference between donate and pledge.
Yeah.
It's my personal favorite thing for the day.
And how tired we are. That's because the video came from you, right, Miss Heard?
Oh, shit! No, it did not.
You edited
that video
out
did
the
not
portions.
come to me. No, I mean, come from me.
Miss Heard, you edited out the portions that made you look bad before sending it to TMC.
You did?
You're very wrong about that.
So that
if I wanted to leak information, I could have done it in a more effective way.
Wait a minute.
If I wanted to leak information, I could have done it in a more effective way. So you know how to leak information.
Yep. Whoopsie.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
A lot sooner and a lot more.
Because
I was
exactly
living
how to
with
do
a
that,
mountain
right?
of this evidence. If I wanted to leak it, I could have done a lot more with it.
And you stupid.
I thought you testified earlier in this trial that you didn't know how to leak things.
I don't.
Was it 10 whole seconds? 15 seconds previously?
I'm having a difficulty holding both those positions in a logically tenable way.
It's because they're not logically tenable. It's not possible for those two things to exist in the same paragraph. Like this sentence and then follow this sentence. That's not how that works.
I feel like this is the kind of thing that if I did on an English essay, I would have been marked down by my teacher.
It's like you created an infinity loop.
These two things are... This is why Amber Heard could break my brain, I think. Maybe I'm particularly vulnerable to it as a man of logic and reason. Because she's so not that. She just breaks my brain 8 different ways.
No, she doesn't break your brain. She breaks your soul.
That too.
Did Mr. Depp play in your getting Aquaman? He tried to have me fired from it.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
All right, I'll sustain his speculation.
How do you know that he tried to have you fired?
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for speculation and hearsay and lack of foundation.
I'm trying to lay a foundation.
All right, if you lay a foundation.
Poor Camille.
I saw it. I saw the emails. I saw the texts.
I'll sustain the objection.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Hearsay. Next question.
And do you recall? I'm trying.
Okay.
Try harder.
What do you want me to do about that?
What if
Try
anything,
harder.
Lord have mercy. Do the medical records reflect about your nose?
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
I'll sustain the objection.
Do you have injuries to your nose?
Yes.
Please describe those to the jury.
I have a bunch of scar tissue.
I'm going to object to the extent it calls for hearsay and lack of foundation.
Overruled.
An improper expert opinion.
There's some of that too.
She can certainly testify too.
We'll see where it goes. Go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead.
The performance of
Please, for the love of Pete, use Chef 6. I'm not sure actually that would work here, by the way, because unfortunately, or maybe it would work. I don't know actually how it works inside of StreamYards, because the thing is I'm not really using StreamYards. I'm capturing StreamYards. So you see like things that pop up inside StreamYards that wouldn't normally appear. So you see these things like press F6 to do this or press that, because normally you wouldn't see that, because StreamYards filters it out. But unfortunately, I'm doing a window capture because I'm cheating the entire thing. So we'll have to make do.
of her life.
I have a significant amount of scar tissue in my nose.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection.
Why is he looking at me like that?
You were here in this courtroom, right, Ms. Heard, when Malcolm Connolly testified to taking this picture?
That's correct.
This is the picture. This picture shows an injury to Mr. Depp's face, doesn't it?
I disagree.
I've seen this picture.
Okay, Ms. Heard,
I've seen
I got
this picture
the answer. Thank
before,
you.
and
You disagree?
he's not injured in it.
He's not injured in this
It's not
picture.
injured?
That's your testimony. Fine.
This one is photoshopped.
Ms. Heard.
I like how she's like, this one is photoshopped. How would she know that unless she photoshopped it? Objection, foundation. Objection, stupid. Objection, you're a liar. Is objection, you're a liar a thing?
I wish it were. Or objection, just shut your mouth, please. Stop talking. You answered my question. Stop talking.
Are stockades still a thing? I mean, Virginia is old school. I took the bar exam in suit and tie because they're old school. Can we bring out the stockades or what? I mean, serious.
I don't know. There's probably some in Colonial Williamsburg that aren't
yes.
being used.
Excellent. Colonial Williamsburg. She can be an attraction. I mean, she's got to earn money somehow. We got a job for you, Amber.
Just bring out the old tomatoes and just $10 a throw.
I'll donate $1,000. That'll be worth every penny. That's 100 throws. I bid. Let's go.
I have your answer. Thank you. This is the only photograph from your honeymoon that shows someone with an injury, correct?
That's not true.
We haven't seen any photos of injuries to your face from that train trip, have we?
I don't believe my face was injured on that trip.
We told you that this would be a performance.
Yep.
The role of her lifetime.
Yes, it was. Unfortunately for her, that doesn't say very much. It was a performance of a lifetime. Just her standards are low. Yeah.
Yeah.
As a heroic survivor of brutal abuse.
Okay.
When Mr. Depp brought this case for defamation, Ms. Heard went all in.
Okay.
She spun a story of shocking, overwhelming, brutal abuse. She came into this courtroom prepared to give the performance of her life, and she gave it.
It just got interesting.
Ms. Heard's acting coach, Christina Sexton, testified that Ms. Heard has difficulty crying when she is acting.
Yep.
You saw it.
Yes.
Ms. Heard sobbing without tears.
Yep.
While spinning elaborate, exaggerated, fantastical accounts of abuse and everything going on in her mind almost a decade prior while enduring that abuse.
My dog stepped on a bee. We went to the vet.
It was a performance.
He ain't lying.
The performance of her life.
More than anything, I was heartbroken and
thought maybe he was serious. I thought maybe God, he doesn't love me. Maybe he really feels this way about her. broke my heart. I wanted to marry him so bad. This is the man I loved, you know? Yes, it was awful at times, but I loved him and what he was
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
That definitely strikes me a lot differently the second time than it did the first time.
I am so, like, this is like, you know, people who have PTSD have suffered past trauma, and then every time they see that trauma again or something that reminds them of that trauma, they go back into the PTSD. Watching Amber Heard do that again in like this mashup technique or this mashup of videos is really unsettling.
It is really unsettling. It's like it comes off as so fake and shameless. The thing I still think about a little bit is where she's just where she's posed with these absolute contradictions, and she has absolutely no problem just giving like the straight face answer. It's like, yeah, I donated and pledged mean the same thing to me. She says it with a total straight face. It's not the only example by any means, but she does it over and over again where she's faced with contradictions. She's like, yep, that's exactly what I testified to. It's like I don't know if it's a lack of recognition. I don't know if it's because you would think, is it narcissism? It's kind of baseline narcissism. Is it schizophrenia, or is it where you're completely unable to recognize the cognitive dissonance or something? It blows my mind. I mean, it just has the feel of narcissism. This is not anywhere close to diagnosis. Just the gaslighting. You have said this one thing, and I'm going to tell you this is not a true thing. And I'm going to just own that in my own heart and tell you that what you believe to be true and what you actually have factual evidence is true is just not true. Maybe it is gaslighting. It's just that, at least in the original play, the gaslighting is much more subtle. And so her gap between the reality and what she's saying reality is stretching so wide that it's incredible. It's shameless. I don't even know. I need more vocab words. It's just something. I'm sure we could think of some. Well, non-profane vocab words. Yeah. I think we just have to redefine. Just call it. It's hurting. Hurting. I like it. That would help. I need a new word for the concept. Yep. This is. Yep. I need a new word for the concept. I need a new word to put this box in. Hurting. Yep. Yeah. Yep. And it's beyond gaslighting. We're into hurting now. I can make this work. Okay. Good stuff.
Overruled.
As of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the ACLU.
Yes or no?
I have not yet.
And as of today,
you
have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
Do you think it's too argumentative if the question is, and to this day you still haven't donated $3.5 million to the sick, dying children of the cancer at the Children's Hospital? Is that too much? You might get an objection. But if she fails to answer for 4 freaking times before you have to go to that length. Yeah.
Correct?
I have not yet. Johnny sued me.
How many do I give? 0.
So as of today, you have not paid $7 million of your divorce settlement to charity, right?
I have not been able to fulfill those obligations yet.
I am dead inside.
Which I shouldn't have to fulfill
Your
to be
Honor,
believed. As she said recently on this Dateline interview, I shouldn't have to fulfill those pledges to be believed. I should have to. Okay. Yeah, I need like a comfort animal for watching this thing at 8 o'clock because I've kind of committed to watching it and I don't know how I'm gonna watch it. Bourbon. There's not enough bourbon in the world, my friend. I understand.
Admit the statement and the article as redacted.
Objection, hearsay.
Oh my God. It's her statement.
She just testified to it 5 seconds ago.
She just testified, Your Honor, that it's her statement.
May I see the full?
Everything else is redacted.
Okay, then I have no objection.
All right, 1259 in evidence as redacted.
I want to go home.
You may have noticed that no one showed up for Miss Heard in this courtroom other than her sister.
Coca-Cola getting some prime placement there.
So
the Fiji water and the Pedialyte.
Well, I made a comment when I was in the courtroom, and I pointed it out to Ian when we were sitting next to each other. I said, see the water bottle that's like closest to Camille Vasquez, how there's no label on it? That's how all of the water bottles started, because they knew they were on camera. But I guess they go to lunch and Coca-Cola get front center, man, right in front of Johnny Depp's beverage of choice.
Normally you have to pay for that kind of thing for the product placement. Normally that's in a movie. That's like $1 million deal, man. Unless it's the Fast and Furious, in which case they drink Corona just because the writers like it that way, and Corona pays them nothing.
I want to know the gummy bears. That's what I want. I want the gummy bears.
Yeah.
Every other witness who traveled to Virginia for her was a paid expert.
Yep.
This is a woman who burns bridges.
Yep.
Her close friends don't.
Which is unfortunate, because as a troll, she needs to live under them.
Kurt, that was good.
Show up for her.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
What, if any,
I'm so sick of this bitch.
you were asked if you had, it was suggested that you had not produced this in discovery. Is that true?
Objection, Your Honor.
Leading.
Your Honor,
Are you kidding me right now?
It's leading. It is leading question, though. Sustain the objection as to leading.
Do you know how many were handed over?
Hundreds of thousands, I believe. Maybe.
Objection, Your Honor. Lack of foundation.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
And what, if anything, did you produce to the plaintiff
The fuck?
in connection with your consultation with an
I hadn't seen that before. That facial expression was great, though. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, what's going on?
Some of these facial expressions are pretty good. I feel you.
ENT specialist relating to your nose.
Objection, leading.
Sustain.
Foundation, hearsay.
Damn! What if any? That is not the cure-all. It's sustain.
That was my favorite.
Annoying.
I at that point as a judge, I would have just been able to be like, okay, Elaine, you're not allowed to say what, if any, anymore.
I know, but
You're just not allowed to say that phrase anymore. You are banned. Figure something else out. No more.
Yeah, but when she said that, it's not a cure-all, I was like, thank you.
It's not Emica cream.
And as a result of that consultation, what did you learn about your nose?
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
I'm not asking her to tell what they said.
Foundation.
Yeah, I'll sustain the objection.
Left with nothing to say.
What, if any, production did you make to the plaintiffs of your medical records with the ENT?
What, if any, law school did you go to? What, if any, trial advocacy courses have you taken? What, if any, books on trial advocacy have you read? What, if any, Jerry Spence have you ever consulted, for maybe just a random example? Okay.
Objection, Your Honor, lack of foundation.
What the hell we gonna do now?
If you only have foundation.
Do you know whether the medical records from your EMT were produced in discovery?
Objection, Your Honor. Lack of foundation calls for speculation.
I'm
ruled if she knows.
Thank you.
And you testified that Mr. Depp was running late to the celebration, correct?
That is correct.
You asked Mr. Depp to bring you alcohol when he arrived. Is that right?
So the utility closet where we kept the wine was right by the elevators, and I also told him he could bring it.
You kept the wine in the utility closet?
By the elevators? But more importantly, can't you answer the fucking question?
Okay.
In a joint, I wouldn't bite his head off if he did.
So that's a yes.
That's correct. I told him I wouldn't be angry.
Let's look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 1263.
Wait a minute. Did she really say I wouldn't bite his head off?
Yeah.
Like
Ozzy?
She's instantly just kind of saying, oh no, I never abused him, but I basically said, if you bring me wine, I won't kill you. Like,
that's a strong motivation to bring her wine. I'll give him that.
Especially because she beats the hell out of him.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask to show. First of all, this one hasn't been produced. This is not. It's a brand new trial exhibit, so I don't have it. I'd like an unredacted copy, and then I'd like an unredacted copy to be shown to the witness.
All right. Do you have an unredacted copy?
No, I don't think we can make one, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, may we approach about this?
This is where my Starkey-ness would pop in. It's like, can we approach? Can you get her to shut the fuck up or something?
Yeah, please, just
maybe, Judge, can you take over questioning or something? Because obviously this isn't working out.
I want to see the transcripts from those sidebars.
Bad. I want to see them so bad.
So bad. Can we do can you do a reenactment if they release those transcripts?
They better. I mean, it's got to be right. It's got to be in the Court of Appeals stuff, right?
Oh God, I want to do a reenactment of every sidebar, and then one of us will have to play one of the characters as we read through.
I'm always happy to play the villain. I'll play Elaine. That's fine. I don't care.
Ms. Heard, I'm talking about your actions.
What? Because I have acting range.
Unlike Amber Heard.
This is what you would do to Mr. Depp when he would leave you. You would harangue him.
I would try.
Isn't that correct? You would harangue him.
Your Honor, at least let her answer the question. Interrupt you.
That's fine. Go ahead and answer the question.
I do not think I would characterize my behavior that way. I was trying to stop him from using.
You were texting him incessantly. Isn't that correct, Ms. Heard?
It was imperative for my life.
Ms.
It
Heard,
was very important.
my question is
to me.
much more simple. You were texting him incessantly.
I would
yes
try
or no
everything to
Ms.
get a hold
Heard?
of him and
So
to
that's a
stop
yes.
the cycle.
That's a yes, right?
I would try everything to stop the cycle. It was that important to me.
And he's the
Did you try not being a emotionally and psychologically abusive, narcissistic, psychopathic, controlling fiend of what a quote unquote person? Did you try that?
monster for not responding to you?
That's not what made him the monster.
For needing space from you?
The monster was not the guy who needed space. The monster was who he was when he came back.
Not for doing drugs, Miss Heard. Not for being violent. Just for needing space. That's when you called Mr. Depp the monster.
Incorrect.
Now, you were asked about December 15, 2015, and Ms. Vasquez suggested that you did not report the abuse or the injuries to Aaron Falati. Do you recall that?
Objection, Your Honor. Leading.
Does Amber Heard have a favorite song? Because I learned from South Park that the way to kill the succubus is by playing her song backwards. So does she have a favorite song? Because I'm willing to learn guitar or something if it will help. And play the song backwards to cast her out back into the demon world.
That makes me think about Law Talk with Mike's t-shirt that says your favorite song sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Amber Heard's favorite song probably sucks, but let's play it backwards, see if the power
see if that helps.
Compels you.
Yeah.
Go into what Ms. Vasquez
said. The objection is leading. I'll sustain the objection.
Okay.
I think you're stupid.
I'm not gonna period.
Did you report? What, if anything, did you report to Aaron Falati about the abuse you sustained on 12/15/2015?
Objection, leading, and hearsay.
Approach.
Oh, God. Camille, I feel like that's...
It's not that hard. I mean, it's hard. It's not that hard, especially if isn't Elaine a partner?
It's, she got thrown off her game so early in the questioning that it was like she just couldn't get any rhythm back. It was just a nightmare.
How does Elaine get to be partner and Camille not before, like, just now? How's that a thing? Because Camille's obviously is it like a reverse qualification thing? Is that what's going on?
I don't know. Honestly, my brain is still processing how these questions were that freaking complicated that like Elaine goes into like reset mode, like blue screen of death flashes, and then the computer's just trying to reboot, and you can see it trying to load, and it just doesn't load.
Thank you to the 6,560 of you who are currently watching this concurrently. It is very, very appreciated. As always, my guest is Rob from Law and Lumber. Yesterday, I was, for some reason, and I'm assuming some sort of YouTube technical problem, unable to tag him in his channel in the description. I'm going to try again, and I'll also try to tag him today. Either way, please remember to check out my guest at Law and Lumber. He does the wood shopping and the law, and he can explain it to us with demonstrative aids and, you know, setting things on fire as may need be. So please remember to check him out, and thank you for being here to every one of you.
Thank you, buddy.
Okay. What, if anything, do you recall from Laurel Anderson's testimony
In this case, about what she observed on 12/17/2015?
What reality can be whatever I want?
Objection, Your Honor. This is outside the scope of cross-examination.
Prior consistent statement.
Objection.
That's not a thing. Prior consistent statement?
Isn't that kind of like the exact thing the rules of evidence tell us not to do?
Exactly.
Is it kind of like, isn't there kind of like exactly what the rules of evidence say no to?
Your Honor, it's precisely hearsay. I don't know why she can't testify to it.
Yeah. Your Honor, it's only a prior out-of-court statement offered for the truth of the matter asserted. I'm not sure what the problem is. Okay.
I'm going to sustain the objection.
Observation is from the 12/17, the same day.
Sustain the objection.
Oh, I heard someone pop in. I heard a pop. Who's there? It's Legal Vices. Legal Vices, we were just listening to some bullshit.
Yeah, I know. I'm just sitting here.
There's just no comments.
I'm just sitting here drinking, and I just came to offer some prior consistent statements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, Legal Vices, I'm not an expert on the rules of evidence. Is the out-of-court statement offered for the truth of the matter asserted admissible or not? I can't remember.
Are you asking me or Amber Heard?
I'm asking you, Legal Vice, because, you know, the rules that my lawyer brain is just not working. Is that an admissible thing or an inadmissible thing?
Well, first of all, we have to establish that it's actually a thing. Then we can worry if it's
that too. First of all, we have to establish there's reality to it before we can even analyze it. That is fair.
No to all the above. It's not a thing, and it's not admissible.
Oh, okay, all right. I just thought maybe I was just confusing there for a second. All right.
Next question. Okay.
Here we go again.
Current screen.
Hold on. I have to remember to switch it back.
I was feeling the beats there for a second.
No problem. I'll just rewind 5 seconds because I don't want you any of you to miss any of this.
Sustain the objection. Next question. Okay.
Look, I'm having to manipulate like 5 different windows at once to make this work. So let's give me some slack.
Oh, you got all the slack. This is just enjoyable.
Here we go again.
And that this could only have been possible if the video was received directly from the source. Yes?
I heard him say that. I don't know if that's true or if that's possible because it was flying.
Why the fuck you lying?
So I know that's incorrect, is what I mean to say.
Another liar on the stand.
I just know that that's incorrect.
Right.
Are you not ashamed of yourself?
Yeah, and Mr. Romero testified that he didn't see any swelling or bruises on your face when you were talking to him at the front desk.
He wouldn't have.
No, he wouldn't have, even though he had a habit, because his parents taught him correctly, to look into someone's eyes when speaking to them. Isn't that correct?
I know that's what he testified to, yes.
You're done.
Those locks
Did she
were
not
to the
get that
penthouse
burn, like,
is
at all?
the Eastern Columbia building,
No.
isn't that correct?
That's correct.
You changed the locks to the penthouses on May 22nd, 2016.
I attempted to.
I'm about to kill it.
That's why you felt comfortable having James Franco over the evening of May 22nd, 2016, Ms. Hurd?
Spill the tea, sis. I do not know when James came over.
Okay, let's remind you. We're going to pull up 304, which is already in evidence, and play from 254 through 439.
Amber is entitled to at least 31.5. What does she take?
$7 million.
But imagine how tired
What
we
does
are.
she do with the $7 million?
She gives it to charity. Or she refused to give it to charity. Now, we make much ado about the pledge versus donation.
But both the corporate designees for ACLU and for Children's Hospital
Said donation and pledge are interchangeable. These are pledges. The ACLU corporate designee said you typically.
She sounds better like
the
this.
tax benefits, and that's what she said.
It's like
she
Katharine
pledged it
Hepburn.
over a period of time because of the tax implications to it and because she was getting paid over the time.
Why didn't she just make the payments to the ACLU as she was getting paid from the settlement? Why didn't she just like make the payments like, the next week?
I'm glad
It's like,
she didn't
here's
pay the ACLU.
here's a new piece of divorce settlement. Why not just send it directly, away?
Look at Amber Heard's face. Even she doesn't know what the fuck Elaine's saying. She's like, where is she going with this?
Quick, write some sticky notes.
Fake write them.
Yeah,
Hover your pen over the pad.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a nice moment. I don't know if that's in this meme compilation. I kind of hope it does, where she's fake writing over the top of the pad just to make it look okay.
Yes.
Ms. Hurd will not admit that she has ever done anything wrong. But she cannot deny what you heard on those recordings. As much as Ms. Hurd and her lawyers have tried to make this case about Mr. Depp's language, it is Ms. Hurd that repeatedly admits to violence.
I don't know what to tell you.
Shut up, bitch!
On the third day of your direct testimony, you testified that this photograph reflected spilled wine in Penthouse 5 on May 21st, 2016, didn't you?
Again, I don't know because I'm looking at a partial picture of a floor. So unless you remove the metadata you've covered up, we could then tell. If you
I didn't cover it up, Your Honor.
Could we unredact
Your Honor.
them so we could get context?
Oh,
That's in evidence.
That's how it's in evidence.
I don't understand.
there are rules, and you know why it's in evidence that way? Do you know why it's in evidence that way, Amber Heard?
I know it's a prior consistent photo.
Maybe you should look in the mirror about not cooperating with them in terms of turning over the metadata. Maybe that's on you for not turning that over. That's the reason it's redacted, Amber Heard, for not giving it over to the other side in responsive to discovery orders, you jackass.
Get her.
Well,
It's just a gift that keeps on
next
giving.
to it is so that
Ms. Hurd,
to avoid this
Ms.
sort of
Hurd,
confusion.
there is no question pending, and I would appreciate it if you wouldn't be making argument to the jury.
Sorry, I thought you had asked me about it.
No, I didn't ask you about anything.
I'm not gonna peer yet.
I'm just literally on the verge of like a mental breakdown.
What are you talking about there, Amber?
Oh, this is the Dr. Evil outfit.
Even though
Yeah.
Johnny told me that his guards would say whatever he needed them to say, that they were the same guards who had told me that I would lose my life
Objection, Your
this
Honor.
way.
Hearsay.
All right, sustained objection.
It came in through the tape, so that's all right.
We're fine. Let's go, Michelle.
Your
let's
Honor.
go to-
If we could approach, please.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can't make a fucking comment like that when the jury's listening. Oh,
You don't have any pictures of Mr. Depp actually consuming cocaine, do you?
I don't think I have a picture of him mid-snort. No.
Or even like near the
You don't
cocaine
even
at the
have any
time.
pictures of Mr.
You don't have any pictures of him with the cocaine.
Look at Ben Chu's face right now. He's going.
But we've got pictures of her travel mug in every one of these pictures that Johnny is involved in. This is just a gift that keeps on giving. I love
I
this
don't know if
trial.
it's a gift. It's just reasserted trauma. like make us live through it over and over again.
No, this is our hell. This is our hell.
This is Groundhog Day.
or National Lampoons. Look, kids, Big Ben, Parliament.
Mr. Depp with cocaine.
What do you mean by that?
Holding cocaine, standing next to cocaine,
Being in the vicinity of cocaine, holding the jar of
sitting
cocaine.
next to cocaine.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Standing in the vicinity of cocaine.
Being somewhere in the same zip code as cocaine, anything like that?
Pictures like that to the jury, have you?
I don't know. No, I haven't.
And you were never able to catch Mr. Depp with cocaine on film either, were you?
I've never tried.
Okay.
But you were able to catch him sleeping.
Even when you feel low, you can.
I have seen him pass out in all sorts of places, yes.
Why, can I just ask, why did you not ask for 32.5 million from Mr. Depp?
No.
Because I don't know.
Austin answered.
Relevance. Oh, overruled. Good.
Because I didn't want it.
Whatever you say.
I realized that that's what I was entitled to, but I didn't want it. That simple. He, after seeing my face, put his
Objection,
head on my
calls for
shoulder.
speculation.
That doesn't call for speculation. If she sees that he
Shut your
fucking mouth.
Okay. Again, Your Honor, if we can instruct the witness to...
I'm just going to start sustaining objections of the judge because I really don't want her to talk. That's basically my own benefit. Every objection I sustain is her not talking.
Yeah,
That's a plus for
pretty
me.
much what the judge was doing when it got around to the redirect. Just, nah,
Yeah,
just shut up.
Shut up. No. Can I have redirect? No. No, you can't. Fuck you. Yeah.
Wait till after the objection, please.
Did she ask one single question on that redirect that wasn't objected to? I don't think she might have.
6. She got 6 questions in 35 minutes by my count.
Oh, you counted?
Oh,
it was freaking painful, and there
Oh,
was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was intoxicated. It may have been 7.
What did Mr. Franco do on the elevator before?
I took a drink every time she said objection. It was bad.
Touch the side of my face.
We talked about you were shown a bunch of newspaper headlines, and there was one in particular referring to sexual violence. What, if anything, did Mr. Waldman do to you relating to that?
Objection, Your Honor. Lack of foundation, calls for speculation.
What did he do to her?
Unintelligible? I don't understand.
That was my favorite.
How do you object to that? That question is so bad that you're sitting there going, how do I object to this? Because that question doesn't make any fucking sense.
That was my favorite objection of the entire 6-week trial.
Unintelligible.
If that's not, that needs to be an actual new rule of evidence.
I kind of want to, the next time I'm in front of Judge Ascarati, I'm going to object to something as being unintelligible.
Well, as Your Honor's own precedent ruled.
Oh God! Or the next time I'm in that courtroom, just to say, Judge, what if anything are you doing this weekend? And just see.
Don't say that.
Don't do that. That is rule. That is wrong. Are you just begging for a contempt sanction? Because at this point, I just think it's a contempt sanction.
What if anything?
Contempt $5. Go away.
Yeah.
Or the internet reactions. Say it again. That'll be 6 months. Say it again. 9 months.
Yep. She probably has a swear jar like up behind the bench. Like every time that someone says it, like counsel approach, you know what to do, and like you drop.
We're raising money for the kids. $100 in the jar.
Yeah. It's just that phrase has triggered me so much. Like just Kurt the other day, just like mentioned it in passing, and I just started laughing. Anytime someone says "what if any," I just laugh because it's automatic at this point.
It just hurts.
You were sitting here in this courtroom when Officer Melissa Sines testified.
We have over 7,000 people watching this live right now. This is a good opportunity for me to also remind you guys to check out my friend Legal Vices, an attorney who lives in Korea and also has a channel. What do you got coming up on your channel, Legal Vices?
Let's see. Well, obviously the full hour interview in a few hours.
Good.
And then,
That's plus.
Ship collision video reactions on Monday, and then probably some like the second part of the Manson complaint on Tuesday.
Ooh,
excellent.
How's that complaint read?
It's pretty damning. Because I went in just totally open-minded about the thing, but when they're just alleging falsifying documents from actual living FBI agents, issuing checklists of things to accuse Manson of to people who have dated him in the past. If they can prove 1/10 of that, she's doomed.
I heard the evidence in that case, like for what we saw in the Depp case, I heard the evidence in the Manson case is like the actual mountain of evidence.
It looks like, and if Colonel Kurtz, I mean, she's the resident Manson master. I mean, it looks pretty bad. I think my objectivity is out the window already just reading the complaint.
Oh God,
I feel that. Yeah, I feel that. I'll wait for the actual thing and pray that it's filmed because I definitely want every moment of that glory. And I'm just gonna play. I think I'm just gonna go on Fiverr and get like 10 different people to record covers of the beautiful people, and we'll just play different covers every day. It'll be great.
By deposition about being called to the Eastern Columbia building on May 21st, 2016, right?
I saw her testimony, yes.
And you heard Officer Sines testify that she did not see any injuries on you that night, correct?
I heard her testify she did not consider this injured.
No. Miss Officer Sines testified that she met with you and she did not see any injuries on your face. Isn't that correct?
She did not consider this injury.
Ms. Heard, my question is a bit more nuanced.
All right.
Oh, I hope they do the one where it's like my words, not yours.
If anything, do you recall relating to Officer Melissa Sines' testimony relating to your injuries?
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Your Honor said I could redirect after the cross-examination.
Fuck, dude. You can redirect. It's just that it's redirect. Direct, which means you have to ask direct questions, not leading.
Maybe don't characterize my sidebar rulings to the jury as something that would persuade them to listen to you.
That too. Yes, these are all very good points. Yes, for sure. Yeah.
I'll tell you.
I wish I had this much free time. This is awesome.
This is good stuff. Now apparently there's another 4 minutes of this though in another video.
All right.
So we're gonna there's apparently another 4.5 minutes of this. Again, this is coming from Meme Lord's channel. I'll also try to tag him in the video description if YouTube will let me, because that was not a thing they were letting me do yesterday. Oh Lord.
In a way, I can't wait for this to go away, but in a way, I hope it never does.
It just needs to pop up every once in a while, you know.
Well, it's going to, because Amber Heard is never going to let it go away.
No. Also, we've decided that I'm writing an amici, and and also we're gonna file for a motion for severance of time, so that we also can get time at the oral arguments, because we're an interested party, because reasons we'll contemplate later.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Closing arguments, the Depp lawyer called your testimony the performance of a lifetime.
We told you that this would be a performance, the role of her lifetime, as a heroic survivor of brutal abuse.
Okay.
When Mr. Depp brought this case for defamation, Ms. Heard went all in.
Okay.
She spun a story of shocking, overwhelming, brutal abuse. She came into this courtroom prepared to give the performance of her life, and she gave it.
It just got interesting.
Ms. Heard's acting coach, Christina Sexton, testified that Ms. Heard has difficulty crying when she is acting.
Yep.
You saw it.
We sure did.
Ms. Heard sobbing without tears, while spinning elaborate, exaggerated, fantastical accounts of abuse, and everything going on in her mind almost a decade prior, while enduring that abuse.
My dog stepped on a bee.
It was a performance.
He ain't lying.
And said you were acting.
I'm dying. Help me.
What do you say to that?
Says the lawyer for the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers.
I see the type of person you are.
It doesn't get any less stupid.
No, it doesn't.
No.
It doesn't get any less stupid.
And Nate did such a good job of putting everybody's reactions together.
No, that was really good on Nate. And that
I
showed,
didn't see
that was
anything.
no, Nate did a
What
compilation.
did he do that?
He just took that where we all reacted to it, like 13, 14, 15 of us who had reacted to it, and just put them all together in one massive clip, and you just get to watch all our reactions, basically trying to contemplate the full degrees of the stupid. It was pretty great. From our friend Nate the Lawyer, who also kicks ass, and you should also check out his channel, and Nate the Lawyer, as so many of you have. It's been so wonderful to watch his channel grow. I think he's almost at 250. I think because I think he was at 230 and change, if I remember correctly from earlier today. So he's been growing fantastically. So what are you at, Legal Vices, these days?
Oh God, well, somewhere around 20,350 right now.
Excellent. Well, to go, man. That's nice. That's nice growth for you too recently.
Not bad for a month, is it?
No, not bad at all.
I mean,
Lawn Lumber, how's your growth been?
Lumber category, but you know, I get by.
How's your growth been with your first video?
I think it's what is it, 166,000?
Sure it is. That sounds great. Congratulations, Rob. You deserve it.
I'm coming for you.
I think you're stupid.
Oh.
The DEP team argued that you were the abuser,
Now I'm panicking.
that you instigated physical violence.
Did you?
I never had to instigate it. I responded to it. When you're living in violence and it becomes normal, as I testified to, you have to adapt.
Okay.
Let's go back to the day of the verdict. Were you feeling confident?
Great question.
The performance of her
Yeah,
life.
I know. That's why I
I
asked
wish I
it.
could say yes to that. I want to say yes to you, but it wouldn't be true.
Well,
Even
since
if
when's
you
that been a
think
problem?
That I'm lying.
Yes, I do.
You still couldn't tell me, look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media that there's been a fair
I
representation.
pretty much could.
She's fucking snarling there.
What about the witnesses who said they have seen you instigate physical violence?
Oh, shit!
I've seen firsthand how people will file rank and support the person they depend on.
Did they all come in and lie in court?
And that this could only have been possible if the video was received directly from the source. Yes?
I heard him say that. I don't know if that's true or if that's possible because
It's
it's flying.
Why the fuck you lying?
So
Testify.
I know that's incorrect, is what I mean to say.
That's good
Another
news.
liar on the stand.
I just know that that's incorrect.
Right.
Are you not ashamed of yourself?
I'm not here to call any of these witnesses.
That cobra neck kind of
names.
creeps
I'm
me
here
out
to
too.
Just kind of talk about it from what it felt like for me as the person who sat there. There was another trial, handled it dealt with the same substantive issues that had even more evidence in. In fact, my evidence was largely kept out. Really important pieces of evidence kept out. Done differently, handled differently by a judge instead of a jury.
Some evidence is admissible in a UK court that is not admissible in a US
Thanks for explaining
court.
it.
Do you think that maybe he just had better lawyers?
I'm about to beat this bitch up.
I will say his lawyers did certainly a better job of distracting the jury from the real issues.
Yep, that's me.
It's pretty epic there. Well, sadly, that brings us to the end of whatever this has been.
Wow. Did you find that on your own, or was that suggested to you, or that?
I might have stolen it from Nate the Lawyer.
Okay, cool.
I might have blatantly ripped it off from Nate the Lawyer.
That's beautiful.
Including the idea of responding to the Peacock thing. Might have possibly stolen that from Nate the Lawyer. So yes, but it's been great for me. So it worked out very great. So yeah.
How long is her interview supposed to be?
1 hour. But I think we've
It'll
seen
be fine.
at least half of it at this point.
It'll be fine. We'll all live through it, maybe.
I don't know. I think I need like a punching bag or something just to physically hurt while I'm watching her lie and gaslight. And
You think that would help?
Just get a 2x4 and just.
I'm not sure if it would help at all, to be quite honest. It's just that much. It's just that the entire pile of stupid. It knows truly no bounds. It's how do you even truly deal with the total pile of stupid?
But I'm still trying to wrap my mind around why she or anyone around her thought this would be a good idea.
That's a good question.
And I have no answers yet after 4 days?
Yeah.
She comes out looking so much worse. Like being on the stand was bad, and to be honest, I kind of forgot half the things she said until we just watched that. But her giving this interview, wow. I mean,
yeah.
I've been saying, if you want to rehabilitate yourself, you shut the fuck up. You disappear for 2 to 3 years. You don't say, boo, go to your new little house you've got out there next to the trailer palace, and you stay there, lay low, and then you start doing commercials, you know, whatever, you ease your way back in. But you need to disappear for 2 to 3 to 4 years. But
that'd be helpful.
Who listens to me? Nobody listens to me.
Well, I do have some super chats to go through. Unless there's something else for us to respond to, you guys are of course welcome to stay as I respond to some super chats. First, I have to pull them up.
I have to actually get real work done.
Okay, well,
it's 4 o'clock.
It's 3 a.m. I got nothing better to do.
All right, we go.
All right. See you, Legal Vices. See you, Kurt. Thank you.
All
for
right, talk to you later. Yeah, thanks for joining us. And don't forget to check out my friend Law and Lumber at his channel, and I will try to tag him if YouTube will let me this morning. Now, of course, as I mentioned before, I'm not really doing this inside StreamYards. It looks like I am, but I'm not really. So that means I can't pull them up and do the fancy thing, but I can still read them. So I will do that. Where are they? Monetization, super chats. Okay, pull it up. Great. Okay, so, well, I kind of can if I cheat. Which, you know, at this point, I'm already hacking this thing so much that why not? I can hack it some more.
And bonus for your hacking skills. You can do it 12, 13 shots into a night even. I can't do it dead cold sober yet.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. I need to stop screen. I need to add screen. Share screen. Share, tab, channel monetization. Perfect. Great. Excellent.
Oh, that's a
fantastic.
nice hack. There you go.
Yeah, so we can do this the hard way, and we will do this in reverse order as always. So I can pull them up on screen from the YouTube backend. Okay, so this is where we started. Brittany gave $9.99. Say, I know you've got a... Okay, so yes, I know you've got a full screen, but you've got to watch the Sky News Australia piece about the Dateline stuff. They pull no punches, they mince no words. Wannabe star Amber Heard completely unaware she lost. That sounds about right, yes. Renee says, it's boomerang justice. Bounce off JD back to Amber Heard. Preach. Legal Vices. I know that guy. Falsely shouting couch in a marital argument.
That was back during your fire in a theater rant.
Yes. And then when I was talking about schneck and
Yes.
getting pissed about the analogy and getting pissed that people misquote it and getting pissed at the fact that the Supreme Court made an analogy to something it's not even good law anymore. Yeah. Okay. All those things. Andrea Czar. I have nothing of substance to add to this conversation, just a small appreciation of what is about to come. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate that anyway. Wendy says, freedom of speech was established in the First Amendment of the United States in 1791, along with freedom of religion, freedom of press, and the right to assemble. Don't forget the right to petition for redress of grievances. Not the freaking Greeks. Well, I mean, it has foundations before that, but, you know.
That's what I would say. I would say the First Amendment didn't establish that. It codified the existing
that's right.
natural, God-given, whatever right.
Correct. Dustin said she should plead for insanity at this point. She's a victim of abuse as she keeps abusing herself, and I doubt she's aware of it. She needs a whole lot of come to Jesus moments, and Jesus can save all, I guess. Brittany says, I love how she's holding a tampon applicator full of coke in one of the pics she used in her mind.
I'm so glad you didn't say that after I got the drink in my mouth.
Scott says Amber testified that in redirect that the op-ed was about JD. Yes, correct. Also that as well. So that also helped with confirming it was about JD. And then she says in the interview it's not about JD. It might be a little bit about JD. Eric Speculalis said, let's get Kurt to 100K today. He is so close. Yes, we are. Through your help and your support, I am growing. Thank you very much.
How are you doing now?
Well, I have the live counter up on OBS, and it says 98,583.
Oh, come on, guys. Not every single person that's watching you right now can possibly be subscribed.
Yes, thank you very much.
Get there and subscribe right now. Seriously, this man deserves it. He's the godfather.
Thank you. That's very, very kind of you. Tilted Halo says Scorched Earth is the way to go. Apparently. Stephanie says he should ignore her. First, for his own sanity, and second, nothing bothers her more. Yeah, there was even a rumor circulating that she had reached out to him through intermediaries to see if he would be interested in getting back together, which even I believe is a possibility.
Oh, she can't even be that crazy. I mean,
she can definitely be that crazy. I am feeling that level of crazy without much thought, to be quite honest. Yes. Let's see. Wendy's says, I love to be on the fly on the wall of the meeting room before, during, and after this interview. I bet that'd make for some great video fodder. I know legal has got to be in the corner of the room reciting the rosary or praying to their savior Antonin Scalia or something, because they're like, man, with every word this woman says, I'm just like, how the exposure, man. Well, the exposure is so very, very, very.
That's part of why I can't get my mind around why she's doing this.
No.
At least her legal team should be saying, you understand that you're going to get up and repeat all of these defamatory statements, and there's no way in hell this interview can even remotely appear to agree with anything you say.
Yeah. How do you do legal for that one? It's just like, well. We go on the wings of God, I guess, is our legal strategy here.
Yeah.
Greg says, kind of got the sense that Savannah was dropping a hint to Amber that she should shut up with that question about being nervous. She does not take hints. She doesn't take overt very well. So she is beyond subtle hints. Dana says, I know there was an option request injunction against her to stop, but several of the law tubers don't think it'll be granted. What do you think? Not familiar enough with Virginia law specifically. Yeah. It has been granted in other jurisdictions, most notably Tasha K versus Cardi B, where it was very specifically granted and led to some fantastic verbiage in the order that we got to cover, because they have to be specific about exactly what we can't say. I don't know about what Virginia law does or does not support in this domain, but if it doesn't exist, we should create it, because she needs to shut the hell up.
Why do you think they didn't ask for some sort of injunction against her ever saying anything remotely like this again in their complaint?
I don't know. I assume they know the law better than me, which is fine.
Yeah, that could probably be it.
Peachy King says, of course they didn't want it to be a thing. She won Johnny, just roll over and take it. Yeah, but he's not into the pegging anymore. Based Antonio says she can't stop lying. At this point, it may be pathologic. It is very pathologic. By the way, I love your humor, Kurt. Thanks God for you. No problem. My humor is not to everyone's taste, but it is mine. And I have decided at this point that if you don't like it, you can go to hell. There's someone out there for you. Rockin' Doc in South Carolina said, better not call Amber a vampire around Lori Vallow. I appreciate that. Yeah. Wendy says, you're right, Kurt. If you watch it back again, you'll see she answers a question with a question when it's something she doesn't want to answer. Deflect, deflect, deflect. Damn straight. Absolutely. Yes. Her Warden says, I know she's lying because she lies exactly like I do, badly. I appreciate the self-awareness, which she does not have. Jake Dion says, hitting can be open palm like slap or push, which is not a lethal weapon. Heard it all the time while I was in court monitoring, sitting in court. I mean, I mean, again, like, some of that is argumentative rather than like legal posture, because merely neither one is, they neither one is necessarily one thing or the other. It's not like an open hand is inherently non-lethal and a closed fist is inherently non-lethal. It's more complicated than that. But as someone just using as rhetoric point, sure, maybe, fair enough. I'm late to the party. I walked into the middle of a conversation. What is a woman? Probably not yet. Keep up the good work. Well, yeah, because you have to ask the conversation about, because whatever it is, it can't be her. Because, yeah. Wendy's says there's no statute of limitations on the conspiracy to commit the unalive. That's true. If you really believe, well, it depends what you mean. If it's to drive someone to do it themselves versus hiring someone to do it to them, those are two different legal postures. I truly believe if the cops questioned Io, Rocky, and Drew, they'd come clean about their plans to avoid a lengthy prison sentence. I'm not sure whether or not they necessarily had a conspiracy to commit the unaliving. If the conspiracy was to convince him to commit the unaliving, it's a different charge, which may or may not have statute of limitations, but I'm not going to speak beyond that. Light Giver said, did you ever read the written transcript of Josh Drew? Explains why Rocky and Amber parted ways. I did not, as a matter of fact, no. The DCV Titan says, look what happened when I came forward. You were believed uncritically for 6 years until dragged in front of the court to prove your claims. Pog. Yeah, like, oh yeah, for 6 years I was tormented and all the rest of it. It's like, no, not even close to anything like that. Zagakarda says, I'm shocked they kept willfully misrepresenting the trial with the Sun. Don't they know that they already think that they're liars? Yeah, we've got that. No, I mean, they just are holding on to a scrap of hope is basically probably what's going on there. Walter says, Kurt is cool and knowledgeable. Love it. Damn straight.
Absolutely.
Crazy Cat Queen. Thank you very much, sir. That is very, very kind of you to hear from a fellow attorney. The respect of my peers does go a long way.
No, Kurt has one of the sharpest legal minds you will ever see. It's quick, it's accurate, it's on point, and nobody does SCOTUS like him.
Sweet. Thank you very, very kindly. Crazy Cat Queen gave $2 for mad respect. Respect to you. Crazy Cat Queen, $5. Let's give NBC the benefit of the doubt for now. They have the big finish tonight. We know Savannah knows the truth via her hubby. Well, she knows the truth also because she's not an idiot.
See, that is that kind of precise legal mind of yours that I admire and respect and aspire to.
Rose RNC LNC says, please don't watch on TV. Watch on YouTube here or any channel except TV. Please don't give them the network views. Watch it for the bell. It's all Amber Heard understands. I don't know about all that, but watch it. I have you should watch it on NBC. Watch it on NBC. Watch it on Dateline Tonight. Watch it yourself. You absolutely should. Absolutely should watch it on Dateline Tonight. Watch it. Enjoy it. Contemplate it. And then come to the YouTubes for the further incitement and commentary. Yes. We love to give incitement and commentary and critique and evaluation and all that stuff about all the bullshit. But if you want the unvarnished original without all that transformative content, please make sure to check out NBC because that is where it can be found. Absolutely. Kerry Harvey says, she's pulling a Bart Simpson. I didn't do it. Nobody saw me do it. You can't prove it. And if you can, they're lying.
It's the Shaggy defense. Wasn't me.
Wasn't me. Saw me in the bathroom. Wasn't me. Wasn't me. I'm in the camera. Wasn't me. Accusations by narcissists are 100% confessions. I mean, there's some truth to that, to be sure. Adam says, oh, it's a witness. Yeah, absolutely. Tarakara Meyer says, Finding Neverland, I think, was one of his best movies. Never saw it, but fair enough. The Keysway says, Amica Brief. Cute. Lee Richards says, I can't wait to see your head explode when you hear her through all the women who have been Depp's partners under the bus. When you hear her throw all the women who've been Depp partners under the bus. Yeah, I mean, all those women are liars. All of them are liars. They are all afraid to come forward because of Johnny Depp's massive, massive power. And though many of them, if not most, if not all of them, have power in their own right. Because,
randos. They're all randos. Kate Moss is a rando.
This is news to me. Ion Iron March says, theory, Amber Heard is doing it for dollars to pay back JD. There's been speculation about whether or not she's getting paid or how much. I'm more of the opinion she's not getting paid, and if there is money, it's fairly low amount of money. Some people are saying, I wouldn't be surprised at $1 million. I'd be surprised at $1 million.
Yeah.
Because NBC doesn't want to pay for it to some degree, because that it's like, we're not paying for the story, right? We'll pay for your accommodations. So they probably paid to fly her up. They paid for her plane ticket. They paid for her hotel room. They paid for that kind of stuff. But did they actually pay her to sit down for the story? I don't know. Probably not, because it's probably against NBC's corporate policy, to be honest.
I can't imagine they would. I mean, because then again, you appear to be supporting what she's saying.
Yeah.
By paying for it.
So I think that's a bit unlikely. And if they did pay her, I don't think it's like any of the huge numbers that people are talking about. But, weirder things have happened. Nicole says, love you, Kurt, but stop slandering the glory that as JD as Willy Wonka. That movie sucks ass.
Oh, yeah. Gene Wilder for the win.
Gene Wilder for the win all day, every day. Pagan says, JD says he won't ever drop an argument and escalates until full resolution, as her opinion being the only accepted opinion. This seems to be continuing with the trial, then interviews, then appeal, then more interviews. Amber Heard will never release us. We're all doomed. We have all become Johnny Depp. We're all trapped in a toxic relationship with Amber Heard. Wow. Ugh. This sucks. Light Giver says, there's a gentleman by the name of something who has a funny animated memes on YouTube with Johnny Depp. They're really funny. A lot of those are really, really solid that we've seen. Yes. Scott says, I use SVDV and hurting my feelings sleep with each other. That's a good one. That's a good one. Very well done, Scott. Tarkahara says, Spider reviewed her interview and thinks that Amber Heard has been watching Ben Shu's interviews and modifying her behavior accordingly.
She hasn't been modifying her behavior that much.
Julio said 1,800 away from 100,000 subs, 1,800 in chat. Let's go. Yes, we're currently 1,400 away, and I do appreciate every bit of your support. Mary said it's gaslighting as most bold. It's something. I don't know. Rebecca said, Neat, Kurt, Rob, Mike, and Nate live stream. Yeah, that would be a good pairing. Wendy's says, I want to see the body cam footage again. I'm pretty sure that on that video, we're showing the wine rack inside the penthouse. Yeah, the idea they kept in the utility closet seems a bit unlikely. It seems... Linal said, love your take. You're cracking me up while I learn more about the law. Well, I'm glad I can crack you up.
Because
jokes help with the learning.
Humor, yeah.
Jokes help with the learning. Crazy Cat Queen says, this is so much better with y'all's commentary. Thank you. Julius says, how would you ask the question to Amber if you were Elaine and not get objections? This would require me having rapport and trust with my client, which seems like a bit of a forlorn hope. But, yeah.
And it's hard to ask questions to get stuff that you know is not admissible in. I mean...
That too. Frou says, how about hitting the like button? Couldn't agree more. Pat says, Elaine is Aunt Hagatha from Bewitched. I can see it. There's some Aunt Hagatha there.
She has the same hairdo, the same nose, and the same expression as her namesake, Lady Elaine Fairchild from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Twins.
That's a little bit more of a reach, but okay.
Oh, no, it's not. Grab a search, man.
We'll have to pull it up and see later. We'll pull it up later. Wendy says, $10 in the swear jar for you legal vices. Katharina Hepburn was an amazing actress. Amber Heard, not so much. Yes. Patty B says, I like Nate's videos because of the Ericanator. Crazy Cat Queen says, we need unintelligible t-shirts. Yeah, we need a lot of t-shirts. Send an email to uncivillawYT@gmail.com with your merch ideas. And also, if you're a designer and you would like to design something for us, let us know. And also, we need more emotes. We also definitely need an emote of a fish bee. I'm not sure what such an emote would look like, but we need one. Arlena said, gave $4.99 to give us a flash dance of a lemon. Thank you very much. Ron White, love your comedy, sir. Here you go, Kurt. Awesome law articulation and humor. Let's all step it up and push Uncivil Law over the top to the 100K. I would very much appreciate it. Thank you. Kim Ripley. One question I have regarding the Mason complaint, presumably Manson. Does it make sense that if they have fabricated evidence posing the FBI, wouldn't the FBI arrest them or be investigating? Possibly. I mean, there's definitely that. Impersonating a law enforcement officer is very illegal, so it's possible the FBI is investigating or not, or a whole bunch of things. Kelly says, how was Treehouse? Loved you all. I want to get stuff done. Fun hang. We'll be watching tonight. Michael said, Elaine's 67 cats all wanted to testify on Amber's behalf, but the judge didn't allow this, claiming it would be hearsay. Elaine objected, saying not hearsay, it was merely first say. I'm trying. Bubblegum Inspired says, hi to y'all. I enjoy you so much. Amber Heard will never stop. She's like the Fatal Attraction movie. Yeah, she's now challenging Day-D to do an interview. Maybe. I don't know if that's a challenge or not, and I don't feel particularly challenged by it personally. Wendy says, Rob, is there a way for you to check if Judge A sanctioned Elaine to shut her up after the first interview? She didn't. She claims she had an emergency court hearing, then disappeared. I think it was more about, she's not subject to those orders anymore. It's more about her not wanting to seem like a horrible, horrible person. So she manufactured an excuse. Jen said, AH is obsessed with JD. The trial is over. So she's doing this in hopes of getting a response from him. Okay, and there's probably some more super chats that came in along the way. So let me refresh the screen real fast, because we are doing this the very hard way.
And I just tweeted you the Lady Elaine picture, and you can check it out. If you
all right, let me check this out. I have to figure out which of my many windows Twitter's is in. There's been some complications. Did you oh, okay, here it is. All right, I'll put it up on screen, and I guess the chat can judge for themselves on this one. Where is this? Yeah, okay. I mean,
you're telling me that's not the same hairstyle, the same smile, the same nose, the same eyes. They're even the same color.
I think that's a bit unfair to Elaine.
Which one? Sorry.
I know exactly what you meant. Very well done, sir. Very good. You're a bad person.
I know.
That's all right. I like you anyway. I like bad people.
And her name's even Elaine. I mean, the serendipity of that. Anyway, I'll keep my mouth shut on that.
No, you won't. Let's see. Where were we? Okay. Your pain is the inoculation taking hold against people like this. It could be. Myra says, please play Nick's video. Which one? Is this Nick Ricada? And if so, you're going to have to narrow that down because his videos tend to be 6 hours long. Mama of 6 says, $10. Can Amber Heard be charged with perjury? Yes, but no. Maybe in another country. Probably not in the United States. The Law Patrol. Hi-de-ho, neighborino. Dropping in midstream to see what you're chatting about. Yeah, bullshit, basically. E.E. Caroline. Can the court order a scold bridle for Amber Heard? Scold's bridle for Amber Heard, if wishing made it so. Myra said, I'm surprised that Kurt didn't bang his head on the wall during the whole trial and aftermath, because it's 100% worse than KJ motion. It's pretty bad. I think the strokes are preventing me from getting up anymore to bang my head against the wall. Erica says, Kurt, check out the awesome trial animations from this guy in YouTube. He's totally deserving of more views. Fair enough. Maybe I will. Thank you very much. Crazy Cat Queen. At this point, even Jesus was like, nope. And Ali says, I completely agree with your commentary and humor. Let's get Kurt to 100K. Totally well deserved. And is that the last one? Let's see. I'll hit the refresh button again. Yes, it is. Okay, great. So I appreciate every last one of those very much. Thank you.
Oh, come on. Get him. I want to be here when he hits 100,000 right now. Come on, people.
It doesn't look like it's going to happen. Looks like we're going to be about 1,300 short. I know. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. Maybe another time, you know? Well, what can you do? But on the plus side, I mean, we did pick up quite a lot of subs today. So, I mean, I'm not gonna get upset about that. So, all that stuff.
I've got 100 from you so far, so bless you for that, sir.
Well, as always, you know, I'm always happy to help my friends and the LawTube grow, because, you know, it's a lot of great commentary and people should absolutely enjoy this as I make this look a little less ghetto. There we go. This is, you know, we do things the hard way sometimes because of various things. But, you know, we did get to, well, it looks like we're going to hit 98.7 by the time I finish talking, at least. So We're going to hit 98.7. And I do appreciate every last one of you who's here and helped the channel grow. We will be on later today with more stuff. I've got edited stuff that needs to be released. We're going to be on Tuesday, probably with some more Supreme Court stuff. That'll be exciting as we do some more Supreme Court, speedrun Supreme Court. That'll be exciting. And all the rest of the things. And we will almost certainly be on Friday at some point, or Saturday morning, with a response to more of Dateline crap. So this will not in any sense be the end of the Amber Heard train, sadly, for all of us. We all have to live through this another day. So, my friends, that brings us to the end of our video. Please remember to do all the YouTubey things. Please check out my guest, Legal Vices, and Law and Lumber, as always. I've been Uncivil Law. Until later, my friends, I hope all is well. Cheers and